I was able to rejoin the meeting temporarily. And then I was sitting there holding you in my hand, and I was able to get the computer to reboot up again. So I thought, okay, everything's cool. So I hit end on my phone, thinking I had control of the meeting on my computer again, but it fucking killed. It killed the whole thing.
Where are you at physically?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan.
Northern Michigan, actually. I'm actually in the forest. So I don't know what happened, but power just blinked here for a second. It was crazy, which is a bum because we had 90 people watching up until, which is really good for almost 2 o'clock in the morning. But
killer.
It was super weird. They're coming back. We've already got 15 back. But I can't believe that. I'm so sorry and so embarrassed.
Oh, no worries, man. It happens. This is the digital era, brother. You're only as good as your internet connection. You know what I mean? That's why I love in-person shit.
So do you kind of remember where you left off before we were kicked off there?
Yeah, we were talking about the skunk project and where we went with that. And that was the last question. I think we answered that pretty good. And so what else you want to chat about?
Well, heck, I think we could go on forever. There was a few more questions. I know for sure. I'm going to kick myself if I don't at least get Smiley's question in, because he's
hit him up, man. Throw it out.
Here.
Throw it out. Let's get some questions from the audience.
This one, he says, on the future cannabis project, you recommended a Foliar program called Philoscap. He's curious to know what's different with that than what you've done in the past.
The Philoscape program is Sam from Soilscape Solutions put that out, and all it really is just an extremely complex foliar program, but it allows you to get a delivery of the elements through the leaf in a way that lets the plant process growth quickly. And so I had an operation that I had transplant issues with for years, where the environment is so hot and so dry and so windy, it makes it tough on young transplants. And I knew that we had always used some form of foliar program to try to drive a little bit of nutrient level into the leaf. But Sam's program, the plants absolutely came out of the fucking pot. And I'm telling you, they blew up to a size that was ridiculous. And the chemistry on them was incredible on the end result. So of the 25 farms that grew the products that I grew, so I white labeled for a company. For the 25 farms that grew those exact cultivars that I grew, I had the highest numbers in chemotyping in terms of cannabinoids and terps of anyone in California. And so I know that the farm is a good farm, and I know that has a big impact, but that program was incredible, man. It's just that it's extremely available. And so each one of the nutrients is in its own form, and you just custom mix it into vegetative and bloom formulations. And because you're able to drive the nutrients into the new tissue, and you're getting fulvic acids and humic acids, you're allowing the plant to process and transfer that into a really assimilable sugar load that's putting on tissue at a rate that's astronomical. So I buy the program. Like, I'm not sponsored by Sam. Sam just hit me up and said, Kev, I got this program that I've dialed in. I want you to see it. I went down to his shop. I took a look. He used it on an indoor. The fucking thing was coming out of the pot. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. These plants are ungodly. And I know that I should have done a bricks test on it, and I didn't, because the bottom line is it comes down to nutrient density. And so if you can get the nutrient density up in your plant, what you have is something that's extremely resistant to issues. And I had zero pathogenic problems on that hill. I mean, I went through everybody else around me was getting fucking tomahawked. and I had no pathogen problems either from pests or from any kind of fungal. And I got a good hill, and I'm cautious as a cultivator with bringing problems in, and I try to do my best job. But that program shined, and so I still pay for it. I bought it this year, so I don't even get a deal off of Sam. Sam, give me a deal if I buy that shit from you. But it's a really good product, and it did wonders for me on speeding up my transplant shock I normally get from the plants, because I can't replicate that environment on my farm. I'd have to put a fan blowing on a plant in order to give it that much airflow. And so it just really makes plants calcium deficient quickly, because it's trying to move it so quickly that laying it through the foliar, getting all your minerals right, getting the fulvic acids and the humic acids, utilizing the aloe and the yucca to really act as a great surfactant and leaf penetrant. Just a beautiful program. And I couldn't be any happier with the end result. And I was so happy that I said, look, people need to know that there's a good product to help you dial in your shit if you're having any kind of issues with the situation. And I have a good organic bottom end. My soil's been analyzed, and I have it analyzed, and we do amendments to match, and and it's been using the same stuff for a long time. And so I have a good solid bottom biological base. But that environment on that hill is rough. And when I transferred into that program, and it made that transition phenomenal. And everybody who knew me that knew the plants there prior and then after said, holy shit. So it was just really a good product. You did a good job, man. Sam's bright. Sam's a bright guy. He's got a really successful soil business. He's a smart character. And he realized that, look, the way we get this nutrient density up and get the mineral density high enough to where the plant's basically a little bioprotectant factory is to go around the root system and go directly through the leaf, so that you're not having to have the plant waste any metabolic energy making the process happen. You're kind of getting around it. And it made a tremendous difference. And the quality of the flower was phenomenal. The company was amazing. So everything that we need to quantify success happened. But as a grower, I watched these plants just absolutely take off and handle some rough weather. And then when the rain came in, not a single fungal issue, just resistant, extremely resistant. Great, really happy.
Mr. Fumador in the Flavors, whom you may remember from your last episode there with Embracing Organics.
That was
he
fun.
Wants to know what is that? You guys laid down that fucking incredible, excuse my mouth, incredible episode that night. I was hooked, man. I watched that episode twice.
No, it was a great bunch of guys, man. I had a wonderful time.
He wants to know what your most memorable sesh with herb is, if you're willing to share with it. Can you remember your most memorable, session sitting around with smoking?
Gosh.
Not necessarily your first time, but one of your most memorable.
I'll be honest, there's been so many moments where you're just so happy burning the herb you're burning. And it's always really about, really good grass and good setting. And so it's either you're with people that you really like to be with, or you're by yourself someplace that's just spiritually connected to you. And so, I've pumped for so many years so heavy that I can think of moments, where, you're with someone special and you burned, and it was just it was magic because the two of you were hanging out laughing. I remember when I got my hands on my first really good NL5 haze that got delivered to me from Holland. So I had some breeder partners that were out of the Dutch community, and I got a hold of an NL5 haze that was exquisite. And I to this day, I wish I had that exact plant. But I remember smoking it with a girlfriend on the stairs. I had a big Victorian house at the time, right? I had this nice Victorian, and had this back staircase that went up to the second deck. And me and my girl were hanging out, smoking, and we burned a joint of that NL5 haze. And we were laughing so hard and just so happy. We were there for 3 hours. I'll never forget that, man. Like, we were supposed to go out and eat. We burned at 7. We realized when I looked down at my watch, it's 10 o'clock at night, missed the restaurant, missed the reservations. We didn't give a shit. It was just such a magic moment because the herb was so happy and we were laughing so hard, and just, it was just such a interesting time. And I'll always remember that specific one, just because I lost 3 hours of time that I thought it was almost like a blink of time. And then I remember smoking some herb in Hawaii that we got out of the Marshall Islands that was so strong that I couldn't figure out how to get off the off-ramp on the highway to make an exit. And so I just kept driving around the island until I came down, because each time I got to where I was supposed to exit the freeway, I was too high to make the decision to get off the highway, and I would just drive by it again. And this shit went on for hours, right? And I always laugh because I'm like, where the fuck is that weed now? Because I'd love to smoke some of that. I just wouldn't get in my car and drive. I would just walk around the neighborhood. But, you know, there's been some magic moments with it, but it's always the same thing, man. Good grass and good people, good grass, good location. And if the people and the location's good, just regular pot is good, because as long as it's decent, you're still going to get the spiritual lift from it. And so that's the beauty of weed, where it's so multi-purpose in how you use it and what you get out of it. But I think if I had to remember 2 times specifically where, you know, that caught me, like, is the time I couldn't get off the highway off ramps because I was just too lit to fuck up, and the time me and my girl were burning on the back on the staircase, and we lost 3 hours to a joint, and she was a heavy smoker too, and I was heavy in the game at that point, right? So my tolerance was not low, but I got to experience some really euphoric haze out of pollen that was phenomenal. Like, I grew it here in the US, but I got it as a clone. I got the clone delivered to me, and I grew it, and it was just absolutely fantastic cannabis. To this day, it could stand next to anything today. That was good, man. I missed that cut badly.
With everything that's coming out, you know, so many strain after strain after strain, I'm sure people are just throwing samples at you. I mean, how often is it right now that you're really kind of blown away with something current on the market? I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, but what's really blowing you away right now?
You know, it's what's blowing me away is the same shit, just coincidental pollinations and then good sifting. You know, a GMO to a cherry pie is about as nice a grass. Some of this, all the chem hybrids are still incredible, because chem is a complex family. You know, when you go into the plant itself, and there's a lot of expression within inside it. And so depending on how you combine it with something else, you'll pull some really interesting shit out. And so people really went heavy into chem OGs, chem cookies, and you'd think that would be kind of, you know, blasé at this point. But oh my God, man, there's some really, really rich herb. Some of the peanut butter breaths, you know, taste like peanut butter, man. That's some thick, full smoke. I see a lot of the OGs coming back that are really killer, where people are going back into the populations and sifting out, trying to get back into the stuff that really shines. So if you're in my world, which means, you know, you're in the industry deep, and you also live in a place where everyone around you is a career cultivator of some level, you get to see a lot of good grass. And so it's not the stuff that's on the internet as much that gets me. It's people that took the stuff that's on the internet and then they laid some of their own pollen into it, or they selfed it back into itself and went into it and dug through it a little bit, because you gotta get all the hunters. And so everyone I know that I hang out with has got really good pot. And good pot done well is good pot, you know, and so it doesn't have to like blow my mind that it was supernatural. It just has to blow my mind that it was just good ass grass. And I think that, you know, you're going to see supernatural come in a way you haven't experienced in the next like year and a half. So 2022, by 2022, you're going to see herb that's going to blow your mind, because you're going to be able to start doing the combination of genomic knowledge of where you steer the project through the genome, coupled up with people who are discerning smokers making the evaluation of which one to keep. So you're going to be able to start to see some really interesting patterns come out. And I'm excited about that because I remember smoking the original Albert Walker, and I used to have it too. And I lost the cut. But the original Albert Walker, the real Walker, when you burned it and you exhaled it, it had like 40 flavors that came out of your mouth. And I would try to write them down because as I exhaled it, they would blow through my mouth so fast that I couldn't remember all of them. And I would try to write them down so that you could try to explain to somebody the complexity and the palette of a variety. And I've always kind of looked for that experience in cannabis, is that when you take a pull on it, it's this explosion of flavors going in and then a radical different type of flavor leaving, so that you're getting this duality of expression in the cannabis, both on inhale and exhale. And it's so overwhelming in its fascination that your mind is just pinging on it. And it makes you want to keep puffing it just so you can figure out what other flavor or what other tone you didn't pick up. Like when you're that caught up in it, that's something that to me is really interesting. But like I said, man, I like an earthy, dirty Kush. So, you know, the LA Pure Kush cut that I've had for like the last probably 15 years, if I only had to smoke that every day, I'd be happy. I wouldn't bitch, because it's damn good grass. And anybody I smoke it with goes, ooh, that's good pot. And if you don't like strong pot, you won't like that, because it's bell ringing. But main point is, you know, that it's well grown, and the person to do the selection, there was a reason why they chose it, and they're like, hey, there's some quality here. And it wasn't just because it was trendy on the net, it was because you found quality. But that's why I love to do all the traveling to all the speaking events, because I get to meet all these people who do their own work, or they hybridize something, or they got a clone from me and they went into it, or they got turned on to somebody I spoke about on a cast, and it let them explore their work. And then they get to show me what they found and what they did. And because I know kind of the root of some of the stuff they're working with, I can see the similarities from what I know and then where they went. Like that's the shit that just I love. I love to see people explore within it and pull out all the fringes and pieces and all the interesting shit. Like, you know, you're geeking out on dope.
Well, that's the amazing thing about you, is that you're so fucking knowledgeable about everything, and you've stepped the game up from the hustle to the grow to, you know, the nursery to the tissue culture to, you know, breeding. I mean, you've stepped it up, and you're this amazing just wealth of knowledge. And just like some people would want to hoard that shit, but you've been more than free with, you know, everything that you're taking in and spreading the knowledge around this great community. And that's pretty incredible. You know what I mean? Just the journey you've had alone is pretty incredible all in itself. But the amount of you know, information that you've made available, you've shared with this community, it all in itself is mind-boggling. You know, like you said, it's not just the stuff you put out there. You have to watch it a couple of fucking times to really absorb in what you're laying down. I mean, half the time it isn't a one pass video.
Well, sometimes the info's real, but the part that has to be like clear is that in order for anybody to develop, there has to be mentorship, right? In some capacity, in some way. And my goal was really to like do some service to cannabis in the way that she had been good to me. And I knew that I could give information that I had acquired, because I know that you're going to have to execute on it. So I never worried about giving away all my secrets, because there are none. And I knew that you're going to have to execute on the information. And so it wasn't like you were suddenly just going to catch me. So I could give you the clone, I could give you the system, I could give you everything. That doesn't mean that I gave you me. I just gave you what I was able to give. And when you behave like that, it allows you to be pretty open with what you do, because I don't see you as a competitor. And so some people kind of see it that way, where like when someone helps them, they take that little tidbit and they try to take them out with it. And most of the time they fail. because they don't realize that the person gave you their information, but they didn't give you all their information because they're still learning new things every day. So if I was to, you know, stop doing what I'm doing and give up info, at some point I would lose my relevancy because I wouldn't have current info. But because I don't stop moving, I can always tell you what I did because I know I'm already into something new. And what that does, it allows me to be able to be really open with the information, and it allows people hopefully to gain some value so they can move forward in the industry and build a better industry than I can build. That they'll be able to create a better picture than I can build. That they'll be able to take work that I did and go places that I couldn't go. Because if I could have that minor role in an industry where I was somebody who was gifted by being involved in cannabis, where it gave me a better life than I ever would have had without it. If I could give back by sharing something of value that allows others to go forward and move, we got a better game. And to me, you know, that's the problem, is everybody nowadays is holding everything back like they invented this shit. And I'm like, what you got to do is you got to get people excited about the discovery and excited about success. And if you can help someone, you know, move forward without having to struggle indefinitely, that's the point. The struggle is in the action. It isn't like there's this struggle, like it's some certain part of the process. That's the struggle. The fucking struggle is every day. And it's in execution that you struggle. And so since we're struggling in execution, why do I need to add any more difficulty to this process? I'm going to try to give you what I can give you, and then let you go struggle it the fuck out to get to the next level. And as you struggle it out, you'll be able to see where the information I gave you was valuable and where it wasn't. And then when I see you in person or you hit me online or something, we can talk about the refinement of the concept. And what it does is it allows you to be able to help people build a better world. And then as they go in further than you would go in their specific, they get to take you with them as they go forward. So it's this constant evolution of I'm mentoring people who become great, who can then mentor me on their specific. So it's this never-ending circle of information that's constantly turning. And it's the only way you can stay current. The people that you see that are really bright in cannabis, or typically when they're coming with high info, are the scientists, because they're able to tell you, hey, this is what I've spent my whole career doing, this specific. But you take them out of that room and they're fucking lost. With cannabis, we have to have a broad sense of knowledge traditionally because we had to be all people. But now you can have very, very fine specialities within cannabis because of the legal acceptance. But the background that we had of being these multiverse people, I think is wonderful for most people, because it lets you always find interest, so that you're trying to find where your best speciality is, but you're allowing every bit of cannabis to constantly stimulate you, enthrall you, drive you forward, so that you're always able to push, and do it in a human way. And man, that's the human existence. It's to strive without trying to fuck anyone else over the win. You know what I mean? You put the effort out, but you do it fairly, and you end up having a really satisfactory life. You feel good about what you do, and when your kids watch you play, they emulate you. And so for me, if my kids, I'm lucky I got nice children, and they behave nice to other people. And I mean, so to me, like, that was a success. The goal was to behave in a way that when your kids copy and follow you, and you look at them, you're happy that they act that way. And that's, to me, the whole transition of shifting knowledge into others, is that you have to do it graciously. You got to give them real information. You got to give them enough information that they can take you out with it. But your job then is to make sure you outrun them, so that this way they can look at you and realize you're still running and they're still chasing, and that makes the fun. So it's never, you know, the master and the student. You're always both, depending on what room you're in.
You know, I touched on it briefly there, but I really think it's amazing, especially after got a bee right there. You know, here I never knew the about you being in a temporary coma. I'm sure that's not something you go running off telling that story a lot, but the fact that you had that close call then, and you're still putting in the time that you have, because it's not like you haven't, dumped a ton of knowledge on this community in the past and, through your lifetime. With a scare like that, you could have very well wrapped it up and, said, hey, I've put my dues in, they can run with what I've gave them. But you didn't. You didn't. You came right back, and you've been putting in time and dropping all the knowledge. Again, with little guys. Like myself here. You just had a new son there, and you don't have to be taking this time anymore with people like myself. You could be literally smelling the flowers and hanging out with the family, but again, you're still continuing to drop this great knowledge on everybody in the community, and it's amazing. It truly is. You keep help pushing us little guys forward, and what you've done for the plant in general, just by housing the genetics and helping people. I heard you say later on too, or one point, you didn't. It was recreational for you, but the medical aspect kind of changed things for you. And I know once that that aspect came into your life, I can tell by the person that's sitting in front of me, you've donated tons and tons to time and effort into just helping people out of the goodness out of your heart. There's not a lot of people like you, Kevin, Mr. Jodery, in this field. And when I said you were a legend, I meant it. And even though I didn't hear, I honestly didn't know the portion about you going into a coma there, because that is a reawakening. You could have reassessed your whole life, and cannabis could have very well not been a part of the reassessment. But you chose to keep it in there, and that's amazing, man. That you keep pushing us along.
Without cannabis,
Thank you,
I'm
my
not
friend.
me, brother.
Thank you.
You're welcome, but without cannabis, I'm not me. And you got to remember too that I know my roots. So everybody comes up small. You're a seed, and hopefully you're nurtured and you grow into something healthy. And that's just how I see the industry that I'm in, and that I still love it like I did when I was young. So even though the legal end of it is tiring because it's just such a convoluted fucking mess, the people are still beautiful, and cannabis is still a sexy queen, and I'm still serving. So I'm happy, and the ability to be able to be part of the cannabis world and hopefully have a positive impact. Man, like in your life, do you ever think that you were going to have that? Do you ever think you're going to be able to do something positive that impacted just more than you? When you realize that you have and you can, you feel so complete that all you want to do is continue with that. And like I always tell people, I said, when my value's done, then I'll be done, and I'll know that it was a full run. But I still think there's some value left in sharing information. I still think there's some value left in communicating. And it's not about, the size of the individual, because I turn a lot of fuckers down. You basically have to be polite and nice, or I won't play with you, because I don't really need to do any of this shit. I can channel it myself. But I do most of my public stuff with other people. And I pick them based off of, are you a decent person? And is your desire just to share information and have a nice community? And if that's the desire, then I'm about it, because I don't need to market my stuff. I'm already marketed. My products move. My business is solid. That's why I don't talk about my business when I'm on any kind of cast. I never try to advertise my stuff, because it's already in play. What I want to talk about is, how do we enjoy cannabis, and how do we further our understanding of it, and how do we use cannabis to get us to understand people better, so that we can have better relations, so that you use cannabis to help you understand the equality in all people, that we're all human beings first. Everything else is fucking secondary to that. And once you got that basic construct down, your life on the planet is tremendously better. because you treat all people with respect. So nobody's big or small, nobody's valuable or not valuable. Everybody's human. And cannabis always makes sure that she helps me see that clearly. And I think that that's been so crucial in my life, that it's not just verbiage. It's that for me, it's been really real. And if people can get, that value of it, and some of them, use it, some of them use some of the spiritual component, some of them use some of the technical, some of them use some of the hustle. But the bottom line is, if you're using something that was applicable to you and it had a value and it helped you move forward, then I don't mind being part of that chain. And as long as hopefully a couple of them that benefit repeat the favor for someone else, we build more links, so that as we go through time, cannabis didn't end here. We have a recorded history of 14,000 years. I'm sure it goes deeper, but we don't want to be the ones that broke the link. I'd love to see cannabis extend past my lifetime, and I don't have to be recorded as anybody special in the process. I just wanted to be somebody that was holding the link of chain, so that it made me feel like I was part of something that was timeless. It was a gift. I never realized, it was a hard-working gift, and you had to pay the price for this shit. But man, it was a gift to be part of the cannabis world and be someone who got to meet and deal with so many fascinating people through cannabis.
So, with you talk about breaking the chain. I guess this is where I'm gonna start hitting a little bit close to home. And so how do you feel about being able to break the stigma with the next generation, and how will you approach it with your children as they grow up? You know what I mean? It's a whole different world. I mean, how are you going to approach it? I don't know how old they are now, but how are you handling it with them? Are you demonizing it? Are you showing them straight up?
Oh God! Well, my son runs my store. I got a 25
nice
manager. So yeah, no, I didn't ever demonize it. What I let him do was let him make his own choices. And so I never encouraged him to consume or told him that he couldn't consume. And so when he chose to smoke pot, he chose to smoke it on his own. And one day he was at the house with one of his friends and he said, "Hey, you want to burn a joint?" And he was probably like 18. And I said, "Sure." Because I realized that he had started to consume, but he had made that decision on his own. And I think that's the main point, is that with your kids, you allow them to make their own choices on what they want to do, and you support it. And so I didn't worry about it, and I don't worry about it with my daughter. I have a 7-year-old too. So I don't worry about it there because she sees me smoking all the time. But it isn't like there's some rite of passage where she has to consume with me so that we make this transition together. She might never smoke, and I'm fine with that. It's your call. And I think that's what has to take place, is that you don't force people to do consumption if they don't choose to. It's just that what hopefully happens is they don't judge others that consume negatively. That you start to put the judgment down, because we're so judgmental as a society that anybody who doesn't follow the norm is ostracized. And so what you get is this lack of creativity. Nobody ever wants to be different because they're afraid they're going to get ridiculed, or they're afraid they're going to get ostracized, separated, rejected. And that's, I think, the thing that has to go along. So for me, is, even though I'm this cannabis advocate, I never advocate that everybody should consume it. It's that I advocate that they look at it from a different perspective, and appreciate that there's many uses for it, and they're valid uses. And that way, what it is it's just an objective point of view. Subjective is, I think you ought to smoke because you're a fucking nervous wreck. But I don't want to tell you that. But objectively, I can say that cannabis has a good track record of making people feel better when they have nervous issues. And so I can pose information in a way that allows you to be able to take and use it if you choose. And if you don't, I don't bust your balls. But if you do, then I can help you understand better, how to make choices with cannabis, because they're new people. And that's our job as career people in cannabis, is to kind of be, conduits to the future. where you're sharing your information, and everybody says you're educating people, and I never like that phrase either, because it implies that they're uneducated. They're just not experienced, and they're different. And so the idea is to be able to share your experiences and allow them to benefit from your position. But if they don't want to benefit, shut up. And if they don't like your opinion, don't take it personal. So this way, what it does, it allows you to be able to have this non-judgmental sharing of perspectives. And I think with your children, it's huge, because ultimately they're from you, but they're not you. And you don't dictate and control who they're going to be in the future, no matter how much you play Baby Einstein music to them. Baby Einstein is those little programs they used to make kids smarter. Fucking Einstein didn't play one of them. Einstein, he was born that smart. So a lot of times, the idea that you're going to make somebody into something is an incredible concept. But most of the time, you end up who you are. And I think that's the part that matters, is that we start to have value for each other for who we are, whether you're unbelievably successful, you're not, or you're considered societally special or you're not. That all in all, that there's a value. And that cannabis is this substance that really helps you with that, because it's so usable. So for people who do not like to use it for any psychoactive use, they sure as fuck love it as a emollient for the elbow and the hand and the wrist, because they're arthritic. They find a use for something in it. And in that, they start to realize that there's a value. And then now you get off the judgmental kick. It's when you think there's no value in something that you diss everybody who does it. Anybody who does something that you don't believe has a value, you instantly diminish them. And I don't think that's healthy. And with your kids, it's fatal, because what you're doing is you're rejecting your children's development if it's not in line with yours. You're not really the judge of your kids. They're their own judge. Time will judge them.
Man, I just say, I didn't realize, I knew you had some children. Yeah, I'm no spring chicken. My oldest daughter is, 25, kind of works with High Times a little bit, but I didn't realize you were so close to a legacy there. That could be dangerous, sir. That could be dangerous. I mean, that's that could be Jodery 2.0, that could be
I am. He's better in the store than I am. He's been developed in the store for years. Because he's a good cultivator naturally, but I had him focus on the storefront, because it's interactions with people and the mechanics of it that takes a different type of skill set too. And so he's very good with people, and just a very, very genuine, nice young man. And so he manages the dispensary, and then with the team coming in, he'll pull a couple days off this summer, and he'll work with me up the hill, and we'll run the farm together this year. So, I mean, I'm really excited, because I'll get to run the farm with my son. We'll get to work together up the hill on our land, where we've spent years spending time. And so, it's beautiful, man. It's a gift. The ability to work with your kids, or if they want to, join you in what you do, and just to get to have them around you in your life is just, it's beautiful. And nowadays, it's funny, but like with the COVID stuff, for a lot of my friends, it's been really good, because all the kids had to stay home, and it allowed the families to spend more time together than they were used to spending. And I think it was good for, unfortunately, some people had some bad experiences with the COVID, too much tension in the house from losing the job, too much shit going on. It created some seems like there's a lot of domestic shit going on with it. But on the flip, for many people, they were able to have some really nice time with their children. My 7-year-old got pulled out of school, so we had a homeschooler. And I'll be honest, man, having her at the house through the winter was wonderful. I mean, I just was at the river with her yesterday, and she and I go hang out, and just having your children around you where they're not all tied up in school is nice. You need education, but education comes in all forms. It doesn't just come from the school front. And having your children in the house and being able to be around them, and having your oldest one, running your operation and working on the farm with you, it's like dreams you had when you were young that, grateful they're happening now. Because I mean, fucking 2002, I got hit on a raid, and they tried to take my kid away from me, my son. And the fight I had to fight to keep custody of my kid was fucking insane because it was cannabis related. And it wasn't even a big raid, but it was big enough to have them say, "Oh, you're cannabis related. You shouldn't be around your children." And so they were trying to steal your fucking kids for years if you were in cannabis. And so now, the irony is my son and I are working in cannabis together, and we're essential. And you know what I mean? Like, talk about a turn of events. But I'm grateful for the time I get to spend with them, and I'm grateful for the chance that, especially living in the country in Humboldt County, it's gorgeous. And so when you're here, all you gotta do is go out in your yard and hang out, and you're not trapped in an apartment, you're not trapped in the city. So it's just a healthy situation in general. And so you spend more time with your family than you would normally if you were in a more urban environment, because there's more stuff you can do simply. Just makes it easy to be able to do stuff. So it's an advantage. The city has more activities, but I don't think you do them as often because you have to go drive to them. But in the country, you just end up doing stuff around your property, in the yard. You go mess with the dogs. You walk down the street to the park. You do stuff like you did probably 40, 50 years ago. And I think it's good for the family unit. Time together is crucial.
It is, and it's just in your case, extra awesome because, like you said, this is one of them things that you've been passionate about your whole life, and it wasn't, legal back then. It's always been a struggle and a fight for you, but now here we are, years and years later, and you're able to, work with your family, like you said. It's, keeps you at home doing something you love with the people you love. And now you're going to be able to pass it on legally to, your son, who can take off and maybe even take it to a whole nother level because now it's legal, and now he can, take it to the next level where it's I mean, I can't think of a better ending, for this whole thing to end with. It sounds like you've had a quite amazing life with this plan. I mean, all the way through. Talk about, I asked for a cannabis journey when I reach out for this invitation, and talk about a fascinating cannabis journey. I know, this is just shit that you can say live on the air with probably, not hurting anybody or stepping on anybody's feet or incriminating anybody. I'm sure, the stories that you could really tell would be limitless. You know what I'm saying?
The off-air stories.
You're right.
But they're not much different than the on-air stories. They're just more detailed. The thing that makes it cool with me is that, in terms of being like a public individual, is that if you just tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said, because you'll never forget it. It happened. And so if you're just really trying to convey, things that you did, and information that you have through experience, and then when you go into conjecture, things that you think, you state it. Like, I have a hypothesis. I don't have proof, but I have a hypothesis. So I try to make sure that I'm pretty honest with what I'm doing. And it allows you to end up having this just really wonderful existence with other people, in the craft. And cannabis has been good to me, man. It's taking care of my family, and it's taking care of me. And, man, I'm still working for the queen. I'm just a pawn under the queen, but I'm a happy pawn. So it's all right.
Yeah, she's a good one to work for. If I had to,
she's the right one
to work for, this is a good one, And that's the thing. The beautiful thing about this plan is it makes you happy. You talked about that right off the beginning. You noticed the people that you dealt with it were happy, but that wasn't that was a whole nother level. That was smoking it and just hustling a little bit. But when you got to this end of it, this end is I've said many a nights, it has its therapeutical benefits and evervething.
Completely.
As far as ingesting it, But I really believe the most therapeutical aspect of this plant is A, conversing like we are right now, but moreover, B, just spending time with this plant, cultivating it is, I think, some of the greatest medicine of all. Some of the greatest magic of the plant is cultivating it. It's they've used this plant throughout history to clean up the earth and pull bad things out of the ground, and then it puts out good stuff, and it seems to do the same thing with us.
Oh,
Us
completely.
as cultivators, we can go
Yeah.
we can go in there in a shitty day and she'll just suck that bad energy up, and then she just puts out this wonderful flower that helps you relieve yourself again. It's just crazy how this plant can uptake bad shit and just put out such a wonderful product that continues to heal all the way through its conception. It's amazing plant. There's not you've talked about miracle plant. I've heard you talk about miracle plants, and this being one of them in the coca. And that's another great interview, by the way, where you talk about the companion, the male and female aspects, like the Colombians view the plant. That's a fascinating aspect of it too, and it's just there's so many levels of this thing. We could honestly go on for days and days and days about the great things of this plant, and I'm glad that you've been able to utilize this thing and pass it on to so many great people. I mean, you've dropped knowledge. I mean, just think about for a second all the great people you've helped with them clones. Just pass it on. Them working with the nursery alone, helping people take that plant home and cultivate it. Like I said, ultimately enjoying the medicine, but losing themselves in the plant. People don't realize it. They take it home and they ingest it for the first time, but the love for the plant, I really believe comes when you start to cultivate it. That's when you become the activist. That's when you become the real true fighter. And for the plant is when the cultivation side comes. The hustling side was great. I've loved this plant my whole life, and just like you, once I smoked it, I knew I wanted to be a part of it for the rest of my fucking life. But I never thought for a second I would be this lucky to have my garden sitting behind me, a fat joint in front of me, and sitting here talking to a legend. I never thought this day in my lifetime would come, and it's here. I said in the beginning, how the hell am I going to top this? You know what I mean? But it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough, man. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I'm a firm believer of like one of them. Like if you manifest something, if you can see it clear enough in your head, it can come. And this is one of them things, I wanted it real bad, but I had a hard time seeing this, and it came anyway. Even, here you are sitting here talking to me, and even I swear to you, if you were to go back and like watch the last half of last night's episode through today, I was dumbfounded. I was just beside myself, a deer in the headlights. I did not know which way I was going to run or how I was going to handle this, because you're such a, like I said in the beginning, you're not just somebody in this this community, but you're as real as shit. You're as real as shit, and if you're one of them type of guys that call it as it sees you see it, and I just I was like, I'm afraid of this interview. I don't know fucking how to handle it. And even as I watched, I said earlier, man, I really looked at this interview as like looking down the barrel of a loaded knowledge shotgun. I was like, you know, ask the wrong question. That thing might just blow your head clean off with what you might get out. And you know, so I didn't know how I was gonna, what tack I was gonna take, and you've made it, you know, too easy to communicate with you. I mean, I've actually feel all right now, like I've known you a very long time. You've made me feel very comfortable in dealing with you, which wasn't easy. Even for I was sweating bullets. I mean, up until the time you popped on the screen, I was sweating bullets, and you know, you were too cool right from the beginning. No, calm down, we got this, and you know, I can't thank you enough. I really want this to go on for a much longer time, but I'm feeling greedy that you gave me 3 hours already, and you know,
Well, you know how to
I
reach
feel
me, man.
blessed.
We can get together another time. I'm not going
I
anywhere.
feel blessed. I know there's a lot of questions out there, but I don't, you know, you've gave me 3 hours already, and I don't want to abuse any more of your time. I know it's getting late there, and I know this is a late episode. I didn't know, even with it being so late, that I was even going to be able, you know, get you interested in this. But
No,
you did. You
no,
jumped on it.
you approached it right though. You know, the thing is you're trying to share information with people too, and you're trying to get people caught up into cannabis appreciation. And that's huge. And so the thing is that, you know, you put in your work and you lay out the format and you try to get, you know, guests to come on and speak and talk and get conversation. And I'm just one of those guests. And so I may be well known, but I mean, ultimately, I'm no different than you. I'm just somebody who wants to see a better world that we're in. And so that approach worked well with me. You know, if you cool and you talk to me and I can fit it into my life, you know, I try. Even on speaking engagements and stuff. If it can fit in, I'll give it a shot. As long as there's some value and somebody will get some benefit out of it, then it's worth our time to hang out and talk publicly. If it's just for me and you, man, fuck, we can just chop it up and burn a joint. It's easy. But that's the main point, is that we have a common goal, and that's what came across when I spoke to you, is that, you know, you're trying to do something genuine too. And I said, sure, I'll support you on that. And you're a good dude, and I've had a fun time on the show. And you got my contact, man. Get a hold of me again. We'll do another one down the road. You know, let's let me get into the summer a little bit, and then I can talk about what's going on the farm or some of the other cool shit I got going on. Because I'm involved in all kinds of stuff. And you've covered my background and stuff like that. Next time we get on, we can cover some technical shit. And
Right on.
Yeah, so I'm not going anywhere. So, man, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it more than you know. I mean, more than you know. More than you know. There's one thing I gotta ask you for, and I can't believe they're not already screaming for it already.
What's that?
Well, since I've been doing this is episode number 74. And I've been doing this, actually, this probably, I've had a few bad internet nights. So this is probably 78 nights in a row I've done this 5 hours a night episode. And I never thought it started out like 1 hour, 2 hours, and then the community started coming in and pouring. I mean, right now, Mr. Jodery, Kevin, there's 58 people watching right now at almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
And I think that's pretty awesome.
Oh no, it's gotta be grateful that they take the time to listen to you, you know, chop it up, man. Like the audience is the juice. You know, we share and do, but if we didn't have someone to take the time and listen, then what are you doing? And so anytime anybody stops and puts, you know, effort in to participate, man, I salute them. So thank you for staying on. I know it's late.
So this is what I'm looking for. I started this in the beginning, and I had hoped that it was going to go on, but this thing is steamrolled. I never thought it hit 74 this fast. By the way, we did a 420 charity event where I was live for 24 hours. I smoked the whole thing, and we had guests come on all 420. And the idea was to try to steer the stoner stereotype away from, you know, the day 420. So all day we kind of tried to highlight charities. We didn't pick one out and raise money. We just tried to highlight a bunch of them and
Totally.
just kind of push goodwill, and it worked out really nice. So that was awesome. But I've done this radio bit. You're my age, old enough to remember the old artist station identification, if you will. You remember IEU, the artist would come on, after the whatever and give that little, could you give me that little sound bite? Basically what I'm asking for is, this corny thing, because I'm going to line them up. I think it's going to be a 100, which will be the 30th of this month. If everything goes correctly, the 100th episode will be the 30th of this month. So I want to piece together all these sound bites in a little celebration, and I managed to get everybody so far. So basically what I'm looking for, I'll do a little example on my end, is like, hi, I'm Eagle Gardens, and I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle. You can embellish that or, whatever. If you could put that swear word in, that's cool. If not, I respect you.
That's funny,
no
man.
big
Yeah, I
deal.
can say it. Yeah. Hey, this is Kevin Jodery. I'm talking shit with Eagle.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's definitely a feather in the cap of
You got
the
it, brother.
sound bites right there. So with that being said, I appreciate you coming on, and I won't take up any more of your time.
Right on, man. I'm
This
gonna
has
get in
been,
the house too. Yep, it's been a long day, but you keep going, brother. It's needed, and you building community. And so thanks for letting me be part of your show. And you know how to reach me. Down the road, we can do another show if there's interest. If you got people that got questions, they want to chop on some specific shit, man, we can dig deep into stuff too. So thank you so much for letting me be part, and thank the audience for taking the time to listen, man. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Oh, they did. They did. Thank you, sir. You have a great night.
You too, brother.
And amazing
Peace.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Peace. Thank you, Mr. Kevin Jodery. Can you believe that? I can't. What an amazing episode that was. I know I had an amazing time. Even with the internet, somehow I knew there was going to be some kind of internet problem tonight, which wasn't 100% my fault. Still took it like a amazing champion, that a career champion that he is. Took it in stride. Even when I dropped out, he just kept going. And then, even when the show fell out, he was kind enough to come right back and, keep it going. And I can't thank him enough. I'm so honored right now. I am sorry if I didn't make it to your questions. I am completely sorry. But sometimes that happens. Well, guys, it's that time. I've still got a, big fatty here that I was afraid to smoke because I didn't want to get too high and drifty when I had him on. So I tried not to do my normal puff down like I normally would. But if anybody is interested, that time is now. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome. Just let me know. I'll be more than happy to pass out some numbers and hang out for a few. How was you guys' night? How was your guys' Friday? I know mine was pretty nice. I had an excellent day. Great day here in Michigan. Great show. Great questions. Mr. Smiley. You have numbers, Smiley. Wow. Wab asshole for life. How you doing today? Sorry for that cough into the mic. Not sorry, hamburger. Dab time. It is dab time for sure. JD's Aldridge 25. Fumador, how you doing tonight? How you doing, good sir? the Major General 420 Army. How you doing as well? Man, Fumi, I was sorry to see you guys struggle last night. That sucked, man. I hate as many times as I went through it. It really hurt just as bad to see somebody else going through it. So, Eagle kicked off Kevin for the smoke. That's funny. That's funny. You notice he was burning down when he got on. I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't even have to ask him. He was blazing down. What's up, Jack? How you doing tonight? T1 Productions. Ready for that eye of the tiger. That's funny. You know. What are you smoking on, Foom? What are you smoking on over there? I honestly think is like Chris Mertz does. I think other than tonight was a fluke on my part, but I think there's a little bit of somebody fucking with us. Just saying. Tonight it was weird. That was completely my bad. Oh, hold on. It is locked, Smiley. There you go. Try again. Sorry. I seen the screen going a little fuzzy on my end. I thought for a second that I was gonna get hacked. You should be able to get in now. So I did lock up the meeting. Thank you for hanging out, Jack. I always appreciate you. Twitch accept. Later, Kana Shiva. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. I do have a second channel already, Foom. Actually, it's this name right here that I'm writing under. I was uploading stuff into the backup channel today and forgot to switch over accounts there. So this Eagle Gardens 1 is my backup account here. But not only having a backup account, we need a backup OSB or OBS, something different than Zoom, because Zoom's becoming super unreliable.
Yeah, dude.
What's up, Smiley?
What's going on, man? I was like, fuck, when it went blank, that sucked. But got it back on.
Oh, that was totally my bad. You want to hear what happened over here? Fucking the power went out, man, over here for a second. Shit you not. You know, all night long as you know, we got closer to the show, I was thinking of poor Fumi and embracing organics last night, and I was thinking, fuck, don't let this happen to me. Fuck, don't let this happen to me. Any night but tonight. Any fucking night but tonight. And it was going pretty good. And at one point, because you said that it was locked, I seen my screen kind of, and that's usually how I know it's getting ready to happen, is I can see the screen kind of, but I locked it up. But before that, it was a power outage. My power blinked just long enough to shut down the computer, and the power went out, and I sat here in the dark for a half a second, and I was like, motherfucker. And then I grabbed my phone and instantly went to the phone and did the Zoom thing on my phone, okay? And it let me in. And I was sitting here fucking going, I was sitting here talking to it just like this. I'm like, oh, okay, And I'm watching the computer boot back up and shit, and it's doing its update. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be able to take control of this any second now. So the computer fucking comes back up, and I hit the fucking Zoom button and type in the numbers, and I got it all up on my screen. And I'm like, cool, I got this motherfucker, right? And then I hit end on the phone, who was still in charge of the meeting, or host of the meeting. I didn't switch it back over, you know, give myself power of the meeting again. So I think I've got it dicked and everything, and I'm thinking, hell yeah, you know, problem aborted, you know, whole crisis avoided right here and shit. So I hit end on the phone, and it goes bloop bloop bloop, and it goes across the screen. Meeting ended by host, and I was like, motherfucker. I did it to myself. And I'm like, oh, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. And shit. So I'll get it up and going. And then I see him pop back up. And I was like, oh my God, what a cool dude. What a cool dude. But yeah, it was total operator error tonight. The power outage, the flicker almost did it, but it was this idiot right here that canned the episode. I just about had it all under control, and then fucking leave it to me to fucking shove it right into the fucking ground.
Yeah, that's funny. Apparently, I look like a bartender at the OK Corral. I was gonna do this where you like get the mustache to go out to do that.
You know what's funny is I did not never see that, but after you said it, I can kind of see it.
Awesome.
Instead of whiskey, I think you'd be like an old west, like cannabis guy. You just like, I want 3 fingers of a bag. Yeah, 3 fingers right there. Some unicorn poop. There you go. Careful with that.
That's awesome.
You just need like a black vest, man. And I think you'd be all right.
I think that's coming back in style. I've seen guys doing that, so I'm gonna do that now. See if I can get the Ben bike.
Fuck it, he says ahoy, matey. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing.
Like
when was the last time you watched an old fucking West movie and the bartender said, ahoy, matey? It's a pirate.
Can't recall. That's funny. No, man, that was a great show. You're probably all wired up, huh? Feeling good to smoke?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't smoke. I am a little wired up. Oh, I was nervous as shit about that too, all day long. Ooh.
For my birthday, right, Mr. Marks? I can get a monkey, a parrot, and an eye patch. Just don't give me a wooden leg.
I think Eldridge. I think I probably fell right into that 5-7 mark right there. If I got 7 off, it would have probably been a miracle. But you see, the cool thing about that was I didn't even have to ask. He offered to come back. That was pretty cool.
No, man, he's such a great guy like that, dude. Like I said, he was totally available that whole weekend for the Reconnecting conference too. I mean, anybody could have. He was just hanging out when other people were talking and whatever. He was hanging out. Cool.
You want to hear a funny off-air comment or a little banner back there?
Sure.
It was like I said, I was fucking intimidated like a motherfucker all day long, and even more so because Mendo didn't show up on GML tonight, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or did they ended up show up? I don't think they showed. So there was that kind of feel of something in the air, like something could go wrong. You know what I mean? So I had the antsy feeling in my gut the whole time, and then I seen GML, their guests not show up, but again I felt for that as too because I've had to go through that as well. It's kind of tough when you advertise something and it doesn't go through. So I'm sitting here, and on the invitation, usually I tell people 11:20, but him I told 11:25 because I didn't want that gap to be too long between us, before live time. So I told him 11:25, and then 11:28 comes by, 11:30, and I haven't, I'm communicating with him through email, and So there's no real quick way to yell, hey, you all right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself, oh no, this is going to be another no-show. I'm going to have to go on tonight. And I actually had the thought, am I even going to fucking go on tonight if this is a no-show? And so I'm sitting there fucking worrying about it. And then like 11:35, right before that, he pops on. I see it, blink, and it says Kev's iPad. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So a little bit of, stress, comes off there. And then it just no screen at first. And it just says again, Kev's iPad. And you hear this voice. He's like, hey, man, what's up? And I'm like, nervous as fuck. How you doing? He's like, oh, why, man? This ain't nothing. This ain't shit. Don't worry about this. We got this. And I start to feel the tension kind of fade a little bit. And then I said, so are we going to be able to do a camera thing, or am I going to have to like try to find something to, put up there? He's like, oh, no, I'm just getting it loaded up, trying to get it figured out. And he hits the camera, and he's smoking a fatty right off the bat. He's just fucking chiefing and shit. I'm like, good. I'm glad you got something to smoke there. And then I kind of look over his shoulder, and you know what? I guess it's funny what I get to this is I look over his shoulder and I see the fucking heavy bag. And something about the heavy bag bonds me. You know what I mean? Helps me bond with him a little bit. I'm thinking, oh, this fucker's kind of like me. You know what I mean? And I tell him, I said, I just want to tell you, thank you so much. And he's like, for what? I'm like, for having the fucking heavy bag in the background. I like, man, there's just something about that just happened to melt a lot of my nervousness. I said, what's funny is most other nights there's a heavy bag in the fucking background there, and I fucking showed that, I swung the camera around. I'm like, but because you being a legend and in the icon you are, I kind of swung things around purposely to take it out of the shot today. And then here you are, bang, with the heavy bag in the background. And so that made, I said, thank you. I said, that just made me feel more comfortable, because I'm used to seeing it in the background, but now I see yours and it's whatever. And he smiles. He says, yeah, now that I got the, I just had the son like 3 weeks ago. I had to fucking take it out of the house. So now it's out here. So I don't make it, I'm not out in there making noise and shit. So he's actually still using it, which even makes it even more cool.
Oh, I guarantee.
But yeah, I thought that
was, dude.
Yeah.
I guarantee he is.
Yeah.
I know he's not a real big guy. But that's funny too, because I remember at the Regen conference, he was like one of the morning speakers. So he was like one of the first speakers for the day or whatever. And they were running a little behind, and they got there from the hotel, and he was like, I'm still smoking a joint. And he stood out there, and like 3 of the guys from there were like, come on, Kevin, everybody's waiting. He's like, I got to smoke this a minute. Sorry, you should have got me here sooner. I'm going to smoke this, and then I'll go up there and I'll talk for however long you fucking want, but I'm gonna smoke this a minute. I was laughing my ass off, like, yeah, we'll fucking wait, dude. That's fine, man.
That is fucking cool. Was it this year's that you were able to attend?
This year's got canceled. It was last year's.
Well, 2019. I mean, technically, it could have still happened. Yeah. I watched that one today. Both episodes that they had aired. I thought that was kind of funny because he, had several times, he would talk and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were coming up to kick me off." You know what I mean? Because he was talking too long, and I was thinking, "Who the fuck's gonna kick him off?" You fuck Kevin Jodery. Who's gonna come up and take your mic away from you? So, the other thing I thought, is weird is I was watching that video and I had listened to so many of them today. I wasn't quite sure, at one point what one I was listening to because I was listening to GW Smokeberry because he's got a lot of them with him. So I'm listening to Kevin Jodery and then I hear like one person ask a question and then I hear another person ask a question and it was a voice that I knew real well. It was the old raspy rascal. Fucking, and it turned out to be, I actually ran to the phone. I'm like, man, I know that voice. That's fucking Rascal Farmer and shit. So I look at the phone and I'm like, Michigan, regen conference. Just gonna leave it at that for now. And obviously it was him, but I thought it was pretty cool that I could hit his voice. I actually, knew the voice and knew it had to be a Michigan-based episode. I had to go running back. I'm like, sure the fuck was. I knew I had to I recognize that voice. He's just got that one of a kind,
Oh yeah.
I thought that was cool though.
Yeah, I like Rascal Farmer.
It had to have been cool. That had to be a good conference though.
I actually met. I got to meet him at that conference, so that's kind of cool. Smoked down with him.
Who, Mr. Jodery or Rascal?
Rascal Farmer and Mr. Jodery, I met him, but I didn't get to smoke with him. I don't think he smokes with other at events and stuff like that. I think he rolls his own and he'll smoke his own, and I don't think he passes them around which makes sense. I mean, he's at so many events. You can't just sit there passing a joint to everybody,
Right.
Yeah, man. You're on mute, Ego.
You notice even last night's guest, Missy was fucking caught me a couple of times like that. I think you're muted there, Eagle. Yeah, I do that a lot. At some point, you would think that I would get over that, but I've kind of went through some phases that I used to leave it open mic. I kind of figured that on my end as the interviewer, I should be prepared to jump in at any point. But then I started listening to the shows and I could hear like feedback in the background or whatever. So I started cutting my mic off when I was done talking just for a better audio. And then, so now I forget sometimes that I fucking mic off from time to time.
The one that gets me is like, because you got the window for Zoom up, and then you have like the window for chat up, or like if somebody's screen sharing and it like takes over the whole screen for me anyway. And so like if I have it on mute and then somebody asks a question, it's like a son of a bitch trying to find where to unmute the damn thing. I don't know, it's funny. To me it is.
Sometimes it'll be like this camera, like I told you, hides some things because it's right there. So sometimes it's just I can't even see if it's mic'd or not.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this one again. It's hard even trying to listen and read chat at the same time. Type in chat. I'm like, it ain't even just trying to talk and be on the show.
Well, I was fucking. It is hard to watch, and like tonight, I fucking realized like mid-show I was logged in on my end on the wrong account. So I was like, "Fuck!" Even if they, shoot me out now or mention me, it's not gonna mention my name. It's not gonna light up for me because I'm on a different account and shit. So I was trying to watch extra hard, which wasn't working out too well.
Yeah. DLP 2372 in chat. He's I just typed it in, but he's gonna watch it, and I said you got to watch both of them. So we got two of them now.
Operator error right here. I thought I saved it too. I was feeling so. If you could see my if you could probably go back and watch my face right before it ends. It's like, yes. Then it fucking. I wish you could see my face just after. After it all goes south, it's all like. It went from like, yeah, the greatest feeling to you fucking idiot, like time flat.
Yeah, DLP they started, and then I don't know, a good hour and a half in or so, and Eagles shut everything down and had to restart. So there's two of them you have to go catch.
I can't believe it. I really can't. But I kind of knew it was coming. I didn't. Something told me I was not getting out of that episode without some kind of hitch. But I'm just thankful it went over as good as it did. That's it. We were plugging along too. There was almost 90 at the time of fucking when I fucking hit that button. There was almost 90 hanging out in chat. I was like,
Oh,
son of a fucking bitch.
yeah, it's all right.
And I was, you know what the moreover funny thing about that is, I was just getting ready to comment on that shit too. When it all went south, I was just getting ready to go. Hey, check it out! We got fucking almost 90 in chat right now. Fucking 2:30 in the morning and shit, and then it just went flip, flip, flip.
So next time, Ego, you gotta control those thoughts so that it's all positive. So this was in one of the books I listened to, but like the difference between so like Olympic athletes that get up, they train for years, and they'll get up in that one moment they got to perform at the highest level possible, right? So in front of a huge stage or whatever. But every one of them, if you asked beforehand if they were nervous, they say, "No, I'm excited." And the reason that is because it's the exact same physical response in your body to be nervous as it is to be excited, but it's a different mental perspective you take on it. So if you say I'm nervous, it's actually kind of that leaning negative. But if you're excited, it's that kind of leaning positive was the takeoff from it. So don't be nervous, be excited.
Right. It was hard, man. I'm telling you, man, I had a hard time sleeping and everything. That's how worked up I was about this one.
I
I
bet.
don't know why, but it's just the way it went out.
Yeah. But that's the brain power or brain battle or whatever. I do that too. Fucking rolls through your head. All the what ifs. It's good though,
You
man.
know, that's some straight shit. I want to give a shout out to two people that helped relax me before this episode. That was one, my daughter, my oldest daughter, Brittany. She she was texting me right before, and I'm like, I'll call you later. Good night, Dirty Indica Night. You have a great night. And I told her, I'll call you later. I said, I'm nervous as fuck. I said, big show tonight. Nervous as fuck. And this is what she replied. She's in kind of one of them things. I said, call you later. She says, K. And I said, super big show tonight. She said, it's going to be great. No worry at, no worry at a time. You got this, Dad. And she sent me a bunch of hearts. And I kind of, thank you. I needed that. And then just before the show, as I'm getting ready to go on, I was again still very nervous, even though Brittany had instilled some faith in me, which meant the world. I'm I hit up my Instagram here, and I'm like checking for messages, panic messages. I actually had brought it up to text Mr. Jodery. Send him a little DM because it was after 11:30. I'm like, we still on? And then I happened to notice Aldridge 25 had sent a message. And Aldridge 25 says, "You're the eagle, just be you," you know. And I thought to myself, thank you, Aldridge 25. And again, it was just, again, help seat me a little bit further into myself and help me calm down. So I did appreciate that, Aldridge 25. It did help take the edge off. Appreciate it.
That's cool.
It was cool. I thought it was really cool. Yeah, a lot of people do that, you know. I get that more often than not. It's always well placed. It's funny how well placed it always is. When I get messages like that, it's like they know that, you know, whatever. You know what? You have a good day, Eagle. And it's like right when I need it almost every time. It's like, you guys, thank you. Pretty cool community. It really is.
Yeah, it is really cool. Chiba's asking about books. Yeah, it's a long list, I guess. I was trying to bring up. Yeah, so it's like 1 month, 26 days, and 36 minutes. So of listening.
And I play with this.
A lot of books, actually.
I haven't looked at mine in a while, but I want to play this. Because I never, you know how like you get the badges and stuff, and you're like, show your badge off, or you know what I mean. But I'm like, who am I gonna send this to? You know what I mean? Every time it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna post this or nothing, because it always has that option of, you know, posting it and shit. Oh, fucking phone's dying. So what books you got on there? This was the other question while I'm trying to pull my shit up. What is the library?
I got a bunch of sales books, psychology books, negotiating books.
You know, it's funny because sales is one of the funny thing. Like Zig Ziglar books are always. I like Zig Ziglar a lot as far as sales, and you know, you wonder how sales, because you're always selling yourself. That's how sales applies. I'm not a salesman, but we're all selling ourselves.
I guess this might be the easiest way.
Holy shit, 120. That's a lot.
Yeah,
of
it's been a
books.
minute, man. I don't know. It's just learning. I'm a curious person, and then it's like once you get the subscription, it's like, well, you get one a month all the time. So then you know what I mean? You got one to listen to. And at the end of that one, if I don't know, or if you see another good one in your wish list or whatever, then you're like, well, it's only like $10 or to get another one. So I don't know. Then you start getting 3 of them a month, and then all of a sudden, you know, you got a bunch of them.
Yeah, that month's pretty impressive now that I look at my number. That 1 month's pretty impressive now that I look at my number, because I know I listen to a lot of Audible myself, but I'm only at fucking five days, 17 hours and 47 minutes. That's a lot of listening up to that point.
Yeah, because I was on the road sales, so I drove a route basically, and for 5 years, and probably the last 3 of those I was listening to the Audible books. So that was like my radio during the day, I guess.
So the question again too was, I guess not indirectly, but not directly, but indirectly. What are those positive books? They say you've got such a positive attitude, so I'm sure you have like some positive attitude books there.
There's a lot of just, yeah, it's just a lot of, I guess, I'm trying to think of what one would be a good recommendation. I'm trying to scroll through it. Like Good to Great was one. Napoleon Hill. Some of that stuff's really good. I mean, you've referenced that before. I really like the negotiating book from, now I'm drawing a blank on his name. It's Never Split the Difference. Oh, I can see his face too. But that's one of my favorite books, um, especially if you have teenage daughters. It's a negotiating.
Some of mine are going to be corny,
Chris
but
Voss,
good
that's the
ones.
guy's name. Never Split the Difference with Chris Voss is a really great book for anybody going through anything. And I don't know, not anything, but just negotiating in general. And it's a cool book because he's FBI and he's telling FBI stories all the way through it. So it's a pretty cool book. I don't know, man. I always want to hand my Audible out, just like, here. That's the one shitty thing about it. Like, if I had books, I could just be like, here, read it, and give it to somebody. But you can't do that with the electronic ones. So,
Yeah, that is the bummer part of it. There was a time there when I started buying digital books, and I fucking regret digital books. I do, man. I have a lot of cannabis books that I bought digitally. So I thought, oh yeah, that'd be great. I could read them whenever and shit. I fucking hated it. There's only one thing worse than I found than reading, and that's like reading on a fucking tablet or a computer screen.
yeah.
That's the only way it got worse. And so I was like, quickly, fuck that digital book. And by then I had already bought a bunch of good books. It was like, they're still on like Google Play. I tried to like do the Audible read on them, and Google Play has the most worst read aloud. It's all that digital. It's fucking hard to learn to computer fucking voice. I tell you that. You ain't learning shit on fucking computer voice. It just don't click. So I just never fucked with them things. But I gave it a second shot with Audible, and I enjoy Audible.
Yeah. And and it's easy to listen to. You can do other stuff. So, like, yeah, whenever I'm working in the garden, I got that playing, or I got a podcast or something playing. And I don't watch TV, I guess. That's my TV and radio is all. Now it's all cannabis stuff for the most part.
What did you happen to catch that Scrog I posted today?
Yeah. I was forgot I was going to ask you about that. Is that an old picture or something?
No, that's today.
That was today, huh? All right.
Yeah, that's today. Why do you ask if it's old?
Because I thought you were like, I don't know. I thought you were never ever gonna do a scrub. But
Oh, I looked at it and I was like, fuck that thing. As soon as it was set up, I was like, fuck that thing.
and that's really what it comes
But
down to, is trying to control these. You know what I mean? Like, if you got to do it to control them,
I'd still think it's going to look exactly like it did the other run, the last run. It'll be similar, more support, but I don't think the yield's going to be much different, to be honest with you. That's that insane the membrane in there, so it can be interesting to see the stretch in utilized in the Scrog like system. It's filled up the net pretty quickly.
see, I think
Uh,
that maybe I'm wrong here, Eagle, and I agree with you. I don't think the weight's going to be any different because I think your weight is totally on, like all things the same. Your wattage is going to dictate how much weight you have. All things the same plants, whether you scrog it or not, it's not going to exactly change that. But where I do think a scrog is really nice is it gives you uniformity to the buds. So if you can really set it up to where they're all coming up at equal heights, you'll get more of your your A buds, so to speak, versus your B and C or D. Then because then like the way I try to do it is like you're gonna have that foot to 18 inches. That's all going to be bud, and everything else is gone. And you try to get as much.
Well, how do you grade your A, B, and C? Is that from size, or
Yeah.
are
Size.
you judging it? Well, see, that doesn't matter for me because I'm one of them guys that if the cola size is decent enough, I'm still gonna pick it down anyway
Right.
because into smaller nugs. So that right there doesn't really matter to me,
Well, that's
because
another
they're all going to
benefit.
be D size, if you will, anyway. You know
But
what I
that's
mean?
another
In the
benefit
end.
is you're not having that big turkey leg up on the top either. If you let them go natural, you know what I mean. They're less likely to have that super huge cola if you're really spreading those buds out. I think.
I don't know. Well, like I said, I didn't want to fucking run this fucking thing again. Hold on, let me turn the speaker up. Okay. I didn't want to fucking run it again. I really didn't. But I told the light guy I would run it again, run that light again. He asked for the scrog, and so I'm gonna give it to him. For a fucking $1,000 light, whatever that thing is. I'll at least run it twice for you. I'll at least run it twice for you. Come on, before I call it good. You know? So
Right.
I'll run a scrog there, just to kind of say, whatever, just so he can be happy, and
I kind of
I can
migrated to it just to try to
make a
control.
decision too. Did it come out any better or not? I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's gonna, but you never know.
I mean, it will though if you're keeping it out of the light. You know what I'm saying? So like, there are cases where I think it's an advantage, and if you can keep a proper distance to your lighting and not fry the top coal. Whoa, man! I felt like I fell there. Did anybody watching feel like you fell too? I was, that's where I think your advantage would come though, is you'd get a more weight that way, is keeping them out of the light. But I don't know. I think watts equals yield still is your one of the determiners, I guess. The other I do think I've been thinking about more for organics than hydro, but root space I think is another limiter for organics too. So like living soil style, how I'm doing. Because hydro, I know you can just hammer them, more often in the smaller one.
I
But
can't hear a damn thing you're saying.
is anybody hearing me? Am I on mute? I'm not on mute, am I?
Better be saying
I'm
something
just
nice,
rambling. I'm
Violet.
like, oh man, what are you talking about?
What the fuck? It won't even let me switch either. God
Well,
damn it.
Eagle dropped his shit. I'm just rolling with it. Now I lost my. Now I squirrel. Fuck. Oh, root zone. And shout out to GML. He's the one who got me thinking that actually a little more than some of the other, but he talked about some of that. Yeah, they hear me fine, Eagle. It's just you. But yeah, GML talked about having about 60 gallons
So
of
bitch.
soil for your root space per 1,000 watt light or whatever. So if you have like number sevens, you want to have 9 of them under there. If you got, number 15s, you want to have 4. If you got number 10s, you want to have 6. But it gives the plant enough ability to build the roots so that it can flower more weight at the end, so to speak. And I dug it. Damn straight, Alders, the motherfucking Smiley Show. Just Miss D's. Yeah, where is Miss D's? I didn't see her. Or is Eagle not going to be able to talk no more?
I can talk to you now. My headset went dead, and I started fucking around trying to switch it over to the TV speakers. That's why I told you, hold on, I had to turn this fucker up. So I reached over and was turning the fucking stereo speakers on, and then it fucking knocked the camera over. And then for some reason, I couldn't fucking hear you. And then it took me a minute to figure out my mic was sitting on my keyboard and was holding down one of the keys, and it wouldn't let me fucking work the Zoom. So I'm like, why wouldn't this fucker let me hit the Zoom? So it took me a minute to figure out what the fuck I was doing.
That's funny shit, man. Good thing it's a full moon for you.
Oh yeah, thanks for pointing that out. The Major General fucking was nice enough to point that out earlier too, when I was in what was it, GML's fucking show in their chat, and I was talking about being a little bit nervous for the show, and the Major General's like, "Oh yeah, don't forget it's a full moon too," and I was like, "Oh, thanks for reminding me of that and shit."
See a black cat and cracked your mirror. You're like, fuck this. This day's never gonna end. Oh shit. Yeah, Chris Mertz, good question. Who's popping seeds? I'm not actually, because I don't know. I should actually. I've been toying on the idea. I'm thinking next full moon. I just cracked some, so. But actually, two of them are CJ, so I got to remember that he's taking those, so I might be able to. Shit.
I actually gonna pop some here probably again soon. I don't. How can this fucking be? Now I've got my fucking window all fucked up somehow. My chat's like this big. On that one TV, I swear to God, the fucking words are like this big and shit. I almost got to step back to read this bitch. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. It's almost hurt. It's almost hurt my eyes to look at chat right now. It's just fucking too big. What the fuck, man? And it wants to pop chat out and shit.
That's cool. Yeah, dude, I was pruning these Mimosa Max Stomper Cross I got. I was pruning them up, and oh my gosh, the whole room smelled like grapes. It was crazy. Like, it was crazy. I'm so excited for them.
So, yeah, I'm going to probably pop some new seeds here, too. You know, I've got them ones going that I just popped.
Yeah.
What?
They're like a week old. They're like this tall. You got like a whole fleet of 12. You're going to crack more.
Fucking, yeah, I'm going to probably pop some new seeds. Oh, there I go talking in the background. Fucking, I honestly think is like Chris Mertz does. I think other than tonight was really
good, man.
My part, really, you don't say. I don't know, but yeah, a fucking warlock, which I guess would be psychedelic warlock on here. Motherfucker, I don't know what I've done to my fucking browser that's pissing me off. For some reason, it refuses no matter how many times I close it. The fucking, it's like exaggerated big. I can't fucking like minimize this chat for the fucking life. But got some that Pine Tar Kush coming. So I've heard good things about that. He says real good things about that. So I'm gonna probably that'll probably hit the dirt upon arrival there. It is harvest season, so the numbers are there.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Oh yeah, DLP. I'll give you a shout, man, next time. Actually, it's been, I don't know, it's gone before it's even ready lately. So, but I'll get a hold of you next harvest, definitely. We're gonna smoke. That's what we're gonna do, Ego. We're gonna meet up. We're gonna smoke. He used
I
it
can't wait.
store too, but in a different part of the town. I guess they got like 4 locations. He's at one of the other ones.
CJ was talking about that fucking pull-up thing not so long ago.
Hold up.
Did you hear about that? Yeah, it was supposed to be like a cannabis event, but like nobody really got out of their cars. It was just like a fucking. Oh, I think I gotta figure it out. They just fucking like pulled up and such. You know what I mean? Like a drive-in like such almost. And I was like, oh, that it just doesn't seem like it would be as fun. You know what I mean? It just be like, ah.
Yeah. Shout out to CJ too, man. He's always keeping me informed on the events, and he loves coming up to Michigan. I know that.
Cool cat, man. That's for sure. That's another thing that I think is real cool, and I think we might have COVID to thank for it. Stupid little things like that. I mean, COVID. We talked some shit about COVID, but COVID's brought some cool things back. In particular, fucking the drive-in. I fucking think it's awesome that COVID is bringing back the fucking the drive-in. That's fucking awesome. Hopefully that will be something where they actually start building more of them. I think that would be really fucking cool.
Sorry, dude. I just saw the seed pack of these ones I cracked for CJ, and I was gonna show them, and now I can't find the dang seed pack. But oh well. They're from Cannabis, and it's a cross with it's Tubby Custard from Mean Gene or Freeborn Selections, basically. It's, it's a cross Cannabis made with it, but should be fire. It's supposed to be a giant for outdoors, so getting them a little started late, but it's all right. They should come through. I'm curious.
The other thing I thought was, I thought, well, again, there's been a lot of cool things COVID's brought around. Us being essential, the drive-ins. I'm hoping the drive-ins. I'm really hoping the drive-ins will be something that kind of comes back instead of like movie theater. Maybe they'll just put some drive-ins back up because that was always fun. That was fun.
Well, they're
You
doing
were
that
down.
pay-per-view or something now, aren't they? Like it's all pay-per-view for the theater stuff.
I don't know how that works, but I know there was one in like Davison that they were opening back up for sure, where it was selected movies. You just went like old times, but the only difference was now you got the digital quality sound out of your radio. You didn't have to put that fucking thing on your window and shit. You could really get into the movie a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I think that would be really fucking cool. That's a lost fun time right there. Loading the family up, going to the drive-in and shit like that. That'd be really cool. And the other thing that is cool is come out of this COVID is fucking cashiers, real life cashiers, which I think is really ironic because You know, before it was like they were pushing you towards U-scan systems. And then this COVID bullshit hit. And then next thing you know, we had fucking every aisle in fucking Walmart was open again with a live fucking teller. And I'm like, hell yeah. I don't know. You'd think it would have went the other way, but I'm one of them old sticklers about that. I've actually been known to walk out of fucking Walmart before I fucking had to use that self scanner. There's been times that like up by me, if you go at a certain hour, they don't even have tellers. You have to use the fucking self checkout. And that's happened to me. It's like I went up there and I'm like, "Where's the teller?" "Oh, after this hour, you have to use self checkout." And I had a heaping cart. I was like, "Yeah, fuck this." Left that cart right there. I was like, "Yeah, fuck this. I ain't ringing this shit up." Left the cart sitting right there and fucking.
You get a teller, but you
refused.
got a glass window in between everybody and a spacing of some type. Seems like everybody did. I did that at Menards today, though. They still got it where you got to wear a mask in the store. I was trying to go there, and I just, all right, I'll go someplace else. Turned around, walked out. I don't know. My body, my choice. Store can't tell me what to do. That's discrimination. It's my body, my choice.
I was totally. You should have seen the people at Walmart the other day, and I'm tell you right now, I've been guilty of like neglecting to wear the mask, shit like that. You know, right from the beginning, I've like, you guys, this is made up. You guys are stupid. You know, it is what it is. You know, they, it's I understand that there is some sickness there, but I never did. So I go into Walmart the other day and see another weed nerd, somebody from the community, North Michigan. I forget the whole name there, Northern Michigan Cannabis, I want to say. And so I recognize him right off the bat. I'm like, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" And like we're yelling at each other through the store, and which has already got everybody's because he's a pretty big guy, you know. Anyway, tattoo covered, much like myself. So, which has got everybody's kind of attention because we're talking loud and whatever. Then we go up. I walk up to him and we fucking right off the bat, shake hands, bang, just like fucking we should and shit. You know what I'm saying? And you could just see no mask. Neither one of us had masks on. Shaking hands, and you could just see all like people around us, just like, "You guys are doing it all wrong. You guys are doing it all wrong." And as we sit there, I swear to God, so many people just looking at us like, "God damn, man, when are we gonna get back to normal?"
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like Chris talking, you gotta wear masks everywhere, walk on certain sides of the street. And I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm too bad at following rules. I'm gonna be like, what? I didn't get the memo. Like, I don't know, dude. Some of the
yeah. Well,
is it even still a scare? It seems like it's not now. Like now, it's all this protest news. Like, I don't know. It's funny, but it seems like you don't even.
yeah. I always just like because they say most stores here, and well, by where Chris is at, I heard at one point they were like certain days of the week you could go grocery shopping there. Like it was like almost like on a number system. You got this number, you get to go shopping today or whatever, which was really fucking weird. But yeah, I just think it's stupid. I we
But see, like looking at what Chris is typing in chat, I mean, it's just our perspective, right? Because it's not in our immediate like I don't know anybody that's got it. You know what I mean? I don't know anybody on ventilators, but it's not to discredit that that's going on. So I just I don't know. It's funny how they blow it up for 1 minute and then it's like all of a sudden you don't hear about it. Like it's a fucking pandemic or what? You know what I mean? Like how does that not? I don't know. It's just funny to me. Now it's all about this other stuff. But it's whatever captures the attention. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't know. This is whatever keeps everybody going at each other. It's not about what's best. Uh-oh, muted. Now we go rabbit hole hunting again. Still muted, Eagle.
Good. Good. That was good. That was good. I said, basically, I was saying, I'm trying to swim to the edge. I'm trying to swim to the edge of that rabbit hole. I'm waiting quick.
No, and that's the, like they're talking in chat too about it, man. And I feel bad. I don't want to discredit that because I do know there are people sick and people are dying. But that's just the perspective, right? Like, if you know people that are sick, and then it's a bigger deal. But if you don't know anybody, and it seems like it's just that other town or that other state or whatever, and it's not. So I probably take it too lightly, I guess.
Yeah, it's. I'm jumping ship on this one. I'm jumping ship on this one. Rabbit hole got me. No.
No, man, it is. It's
Oh fuck.
yeah. I don't know. There's no good answers, I guess. So.
There's not. Well, I'm telling you, this is what's up with the wanting to swim away from the rabbit hole. Is I actually got a comment today on one of the videos. Oddly enough, it was like on an older video where I don't even think I went down a rabbit hole. And
There isn't such a video.
It was a fucking comment on Medically Fit's video. And it said, if you're going to go on about your rhetoric about other platforms, you should at least leave your comments on for a rebuttal, basically. And I was like, you left a comment. I was like, you left a comment on here. You're able to leave comments. I don't know what that you're supposed to be. I don't know what I said in this video, but you know, I'm not blocking anybody out from saying anything. You left a message, and then they just left a message and was like, I apologize for that. Okay. All right.
Thanks for the apology, Karen. We appreciate it.
But you know, it did have me a little gun shy. I was like, oh shit, I am pissing somebody off with these things.
Yeah, you get
I don't want to piss.
One thumbs down every time. Oh, no thumbs down yet, so we're good.
I look forward on the first version.
Yeah,
it's in probably.
You had 2 there at one point. I was like, 2 now. You're moving up in the thumbs down scale. Holy shit!
Right. You know what made me feel better about that? I was actually watching it was another show, and I was I think it might have actually been GW Smoke Break, and then it was like one of the other shows. I just happened to notice that, you know, and I was thinking, what an amazing episode. Then I look over and like it had 7 thumbs down. I'm like, what assholes, you know, throwing thumbs down on this shit? You know what I mean? That's exactly what I thought. I was like, who is this? Who is this negative ninny that's running around thumbing down all this shit, man? It's like, geez, it can't be that. Why do you keep tuning in night after night? It's that bad and shit.
To make sure that they know that it's a thumbs down. Okay, Karen.
Yeah. You guys aren't going to get away with this.
Right? I got my vote, and it's going to count. That's so funny, man.
I like that. I liked Mrs. Mrs. D's Nugs attitude about it when she said, you know, it might be a thumbs down, but the thumbs up outweigh for one, and even more so, their view counts. You know, they can't take the view count back because that's probably the most important out of all of it. So just by them showing up, they've helped. Free rent in their heads, nothing better.
Just looking at what Aldridge typed, I was like, who? What? How does he know who that is? That's funny. Oh,
You know what?
that's why.
I found out. I was going through my emails last night, and it was a Chris. It was a Chris. I don't know the Chris though. I was looking. I remember last night when I played the song, and I was totally giving Chris Mertz the fucking credit for that shit. Remember? I'm like, that was a good Tool song and shit. And Chris is like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. And fucking, so that kind of bugged me. And I was going through my fucking emails last night, and I fucking get in my emails, and there's a fucking email from a Chris. It starts with an F, a last name I've never fucking heard of or seen. You know what I mean? No reference with this person at all. With just a link to a Tool song, to a Tool cover song. And you know what's even funnier about it is I clicked it thinking it was Chris. That's the only reason, because I would have normally not, if not knowing the name or nothing, I wouldn't have clicked the link thinking, oh, this is a fucking virus and shit. But I remember when I seen it pop up, it said Chris, and I thought, oh, Chris sent me a fucking cover song, because I was like the night before we were doing that kind of shit on the show. So I thought, hey, I fucking, he guessed the One Day song I was playing, but I ain't even pronouncing that guy's name. So I figured he was just like tossing me a lead. So when I went back, I'm like, oh my God, it wasn't Chris Mertz. It was so totally somebody else. So somebody sent me a link to a fucking Tool song, and without hesitating, I just went click and fucking watched it and shit. Looking in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't fucking set a virus loose on my fucking phone and shit.
That's funny shit, man.
But it turned out to be a pretty cool song, though. Yeah.
So that's the other thumbs down. Then that would be the other Chris that didn't get credit for it. It's like where did that song? It's supposed to be my last name.
And dang, Chris Mertz always stealing my thunder.
Oh shit. Oh fuck, it's coming up on 4 already. Damn.
I know, that's crazy. I honestly couldn't believe how long he went. And he would have probably went a little bit longer, but I seen him yawning, and I was like, oh man. I wanted to go. I was working my way towards your hempy box question there, and I had another one. I believe it was from Backwoods All Good. Wanted to know his pest management. Tips on pest management. And I was gonna work both of those in, and then that shit happened. And then I kind of lost rhythm. I was like, ah. And I seen the yawn coming. I was like, oh, there goes questions time right there.
Yeah, no, you did great, man. I wouldn't have tried to change. It's awkward. You got to have the questions kind of flow too with the conversation. So you got to get a better pitch for the sound bite though. Just
yeah,
you got to get that little more of an elevator pitch for the sound bite.
You notice I let him off too. He left the fuck off. And yeah. I was like, yeah, he's a legend. He gets it. He gets a buy. He gets a buy.
Weird,
But I
man.
think, I almost think he would have had fun with it if, I would have, asked for a couple of times. Because that's like Missy the Majestic Grower. Wow. That's a first. Did I get it right? Yeah,
Is it
Mystic. I
Misty?
said Mystic this time. I said a Mystic this time. Uh,
She's
but
sick.
she fucking nailed it. Like she threw out one the first time, and you could see the more she went, the more she had fun with it.
Oh, Dank
She was
Grower is
pretty
the one that
fucking.
sent it to you.
Who else confirmed today?
Who?
Indra,
Who?
uh, John Indra, the BHO.
Oh, all right, cool.
He'll be here the 11th. He's gonna actually come on, and I had that dude ready to come on the Bro Show a long time ago, and things fell through or whatever, and it's been like a ride trying to get him back on. So, like I was telling you the other night, he usually wants to come on. Like I it never crossed paths. So I got him to actually commit to a day. I'm like, let's come on, dude. Let's just put it in stone. Let's fucking just give me a day. We're good. So finally he committed to a day. So that'd be Thursday. He'd be coming on. Looking forward to that one too.
That's awesome, man. You're gonna look back, dude, at the end of the year, like, because you can't do 100th episode, and I don't know, like Aquaponic Steve, but you're every night. It's almost got to be like I don't know, first year episode or something like that.
I know, and I was glad you brought that up because I was thinking about that just the other day, or could have been today. I was looking at the book and I was thinking, man, today is 74. Today's fucking 74. By the end of this month, it would, you know, hopefully all things go good. No mishaps. Uh, the 30th of this month will be episode 100. You believe that? Already episode fucking 100?
It's
And
crazy.
I'm thinking, what the fuck, man? It's like, that really like sank in. I'm like, holy fuck, man. I wish I would have set the bar a little higher. I'm like, now what am I going to do with the soundbite? You know what I mean? I've been saying 100 now. If I do the 100 thing, then
It's we
fucking,
gotta.
then now what?
I don't know.
Now, do I still keep doing it after 100 and shit after I do the? Because I kind of like it, and I think everybody else enjoys it too. So, how do I keep it alive after trying to do the 100, or do I extend it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're the one that said it. I figured you had something in mind.
I don't.
Now you get a deadline. You're like, oh shit! I already kicked the can ahead too.
Yeah, I did too. It was 50, and now it's fucking hundreds right there and shit.
Flew right by that. But damn, dude, you think about it, it's daily, like Jinx Proof said that. Like he was like 10,000 and some, and he's like you just do it, and then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, holy shit, like, it's a lot. Cool.
Yeah, and I can't believe how quickly they've added it up.
Yeah, no shit. You're not even to 100 distinct, man. You still got a long way to go, and you're like already so many great ones. It's awesome, man. The lineup we've had of interviews is crazy, and I know there's a bunch more coming that are crazy too, man. It's gonna be cool. Pretty awesome.
I can't, but it's gonna be hard to top. It's like already, I've looked at it 100, and then I thought Jodery today, and I'm like, man, where do I honestly take it from here?
You need to start backing them up, is what you need to start doing, and then that way you don't lose the content, because dude, it's great. It's great interviews and great content. Just like the 24-hour deal on 420, like there's so much info that just poof was gone. Like I don't know. That'd be maybe it's a future upgrade or whatever, but that would be something definitely that would be to do.
I actually seen in chat tonight, I forget who it was, but they were saying the show is so addicting. It's like, man, I'm losing sleep because I'm up all night hanging out with you guys and shit.
I'm too, man.
How cool is that?
I'm normally in bed at 2:30.
I mean, when people actually start changing their sleeping habits to be a part of this, I mean, that's fucking cool. That's fucking cool right there. Yeah.
No
I
shit.
don't know.
It is, man. Chat's cool. Everybody hangs out. We all see the same people. It's like I don't know, like most hated grower popped in, and I almost made that comment too. He was kind of bumming about some people hating or whatever, but like he popped into chat, and it was like, hey, there's like 15 people hollering him out, saying hi, and I'm like, dude, your name's kind of an oxymoron now because you obviously aren't the most hated, like, like everybody's glad you're here, so. I don't know.
Yeah, I said that to him.
Keep up.
I actually said that to him, fucking during his interview, and I had a hard time too. I'm like, man, you ever think that name might be holding it back a little bit? You know what I mean? And it must have struck a chord too, because I seen the other day he had like a garden gnome, like on the preview picture. I thought, there you go. But they were great guys. They did terribly misleading. When you see that title, you expect somebody to click on it and like you're like somebody like fucking being a total dick, but that wasn't. They're not. It's not them. You know what I mean? It's very misleading.
That's what I said in chat. I was like, I thought it was a name like Tiny, or the big guy was named Tiny, or whatever. Yeah.
How cool was Cob Grower last night for Missy? Just like sport, he was like he reminded me and I didn't want to say it because you never know how good of sense of humor people have. You know what I mean? And but what it kind of reminded me of, like it reminded me like a game show kind of. Like the way he was just like off to the side, she was just like, here it is, there you go, and then he'd be like, he was like Johnny on the spot. So just like she brought up something, be like, hey, this phone, and you'd see the phone. This is what I'm talking about. And, hand it right back and shit. Him taking off with the camera, how cool was that? He actually hunted down a USB extender cord, right? And then fucking ran a camera to the grow room because he couldn't figure out how to get it on the phone. So he ran an extra long cable to the fucking grow room, and they like shut it off for a second. He ran the camera back to the grow room. And then she turned it back on and she was watching it, like narrating it while he was like showing it over the plants and shit. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool, man. That's one guy that's definitely got her back right there. I mean, we could all be so lucky to have somebody like that. You know what I mean? That's right there, just
Yeah.
yin and yang type of relationship like that. Just know instinctively what's coming next and be ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the garden was looking gorgeous too. It was really nice. I don't blame him. I'd want to show it too.
Yeah, that CBD coconut oil. Yeah, I was thinking about those caps too.
For tilapia though.
I really need to make some.
GOP's not messing around. Do him on the grill too, or what?
Yeah, that would be yeah, it's been. I'm getting jealous, man. It's been a minute since I've actually had some good edibles. Ironically, you'd think I'd just like make some fucking, butter or something. I got a fucking magic butter machine. I really have no excuse. But oh, that sounds really good. Smoked ribs.
Ooh, there we go.
That'd
Dude.
be really good.
You make the ribs. I'll bring the flowers.
Man, I almost fucking bought me a smoker the other day. That's the thing too. I'm kind of passionate about is fucking cooking. I love to cook, man. Fucking brisk. Oh, that's one of my favorites right there. A nice slow roast brisk, barbecued. Oh, you ever barbecue a brisk? Get a good barbecue sauce and just it takes a brisk to a whole new level. It does. Barbecue beef. Oof, good stuff.
I
You ever,
do.
even far as that goes, you ever put barbecue sauce on a steak? I know it sounds horribly wrong. It's like putting ketchup on a steak. But just one time, humor me. Try it. Just try it one time.
Oh, there you go. My ribeye is not getting barbecued. Barbecue sauce.
All right. Not if it's a ribeye. Not if it's a ribeye.
I do smoke them though, like pretty nice. Like that's how I like doing the steaks. Get the charcoal grill real hot, and then mine's got it's like the levels you can lower it down. But yeah, so the iron will be hot. You get the steaks on, they sizzle the first little bit, then you shut all the vents down, and you can get a nice smoky in there. They kind of peel apart. Works perfect.
Fucking Mo grower teasing, making cookies as soon as I shut down the show and shit. That ain't right. That ain't right.
Yeah, man. I've never done a brisket, but I do a rotisserie sirloin roast. That's been kind of my known one, I guess.
You know, you ever make the fucking beer can chicken? Not a beer can chicken guy?
I haven't. I've seen guys do it, and I've had it before, but yeah, I haven't. I can never get the fuckers
No?
balance on. They never balance on the fucking beer can. I don't know. They're sluts, and they just fall right over it. Dirty
And
whore.
just take it.
Just dirty whore.
They used to make a stand for it. At one point, I had a stand. But that's good eating right there, beer can chicken, if you get a good one. Maybe they just don't make the cans like they used to.
Jeez, and I don't know, man. I never really tried, actually. I guess the whole chicken I never really tried on the grill. I'll do like pork loins, and then I like to do bacon on them too on the grill. It's really good. It's tricky, but it's good.
Yeah, this is the first year Lexus talked me into fucking buying a grill. I moved up here, and it used to be that house. You know what I mean? When we lived downstate, fucking everybody would come to our house, right, for barbecues and everything. Then for some fucking reason, we moved the fuck up here, and it's too far for everybody to come hang out like they did. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like every weekend barbecue over at my house and shit. And then moved up here, and it got quiet. And I was like, the grill I had kind of took a shit, and I actually was like, fuck it. I was so bummed out about not people coming around like they used to. I was like, fuck that grill. So we actually went like 2-3 years without a grill. I was like, fuck it. I just ain't doing it. But this year we were all like, smells good. You can already hear people grilling out, smelling people grill out and shit. Lexi's like, please, can this year be the year? I
Dude,
ran out. I did. I bought one, and I can't remember if it was what we cooked on it first. If it was burgers or steak. I think it was steak. And fucking, we were all like, oh yeah, this is so good. We miss food on the grill. So good, so good. Burgers, everything. We're like, everything that came off that grill that first fucking week and shit was like, oh, forgot how good a burger on the grill was and shit.
Yeah.
Everything's good on the grill. Oh, I grilled asparagus for the first time on the grill.
You
Fucking
like
good. Oh, it was excellent. I took, just prepared it like you wash it off like you normally do, and then I took some olive oil, kind of drizzled some on there and flipped it around a few times so it, all had a little bit of coat on there, a little garlic and pepper. Laid it right out on the rack, just cooked it like it was a piece of meat, and oh yeah, that shit was really good. I've done it like 4 times since then, since that initial time. I'm all
So,
like, oh yeah,
do you like pineapple? Try grilling
yeah.
grill slices of pineapple like that, man. They're delicious that way too. Kind of caramelize them a little bit. My girl had me do
You're right.
that one time. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Right? Like a banana too. You can grill a banana right in the skin, and then you peel it open, and it's like
Actually, grilled pickle bologna one time by somebody suggested it. They're like, man, do it. It's good. I grilled it up. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad.
wasn't worth the
I,
effort. Though.
no, it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, see peaches too. Yeah, there's all kinds. The grill is magic. I love it. I gotta get
That's the thing too.
that.
When I was buying one, I was like looking at different models, and I was like looking at like the Next grills and the like griddle style. You know what I mean? They had a nice big old round fucking griddle style. I'll show you. You could have made everything on it, fucking flapjacks. But there's just something about the flame hitting the meat. You know what I mean? There's just the flame or fire has to at some point kiss that meat. You know what I mean? The griddle just ain't the same. It just ain't the same. So I went with that.
I'm sorry, but gas isn't the same either.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm a cheater like that too.
Especially with
There's
stuff
just
like
something.
pork, dude. Pork and chicken, you really get it in those. I think the smoky flavor. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what I do for that. Smiley is I'll buy the chips like that, and then I'll wet them, and then I'll take them and wrap them in foil, real tight, and then I'll poke a couple of holes in it with a fork, and I'll put like say I've got a 4-burner grill, okay. That I'll put that right over the one burner, and I'll kind of keep that up high, and it will smoke out them chips and put that smoke out in there. So I can there's ways tricking that smoke in there, but that's a good way too. That I enjoy that way. You can mix it up quite a bit. You're not stuck with the one flavored chip. But
Yeah, it helps definitely. I don't know. I should do it more. I gotta get a new grill actually. Mine's pretty old.
I was looking at you just kind of were talking about gas versus like charcoal. I've got and we've spoken briefly about this before when I mentioned I had a gas smoker. You kind of like that thing kind of operated on the same type of thing there, where you soak the chips in that bowl right underneath the flame, and it would kind of just smolder the chips in the bowl. And again, now I'm looking at again Walmart. The fucking I was walking through there the other day and they had electric smoker, and I was so tempted to that fucking. It came with like pucks. of like different flavored, pucks, mesquite, cherry, and it was self-feeding. It was electric and self-feeding.
Yeah, and probably has
So
Bluetooth too, and you can do it from your phone. I've seen fucking change
probably,
and shit with your phone.
probably, I could be talking shit and smoking food. What the hell, man?
I can see it though. I mean, it's one of them long, drawn out processes, and really, you're just trying to make sure that it's staying a certain temp, and you know what I mean, kicking out smoke. It's like old school doing it. You guys would be at it for like 15 hours, 12, 15 hours and shit
It's
for the meats. It's like,
That's a good smoke right there. That's if I'm cooking a brisk, I want like 15, 16 hours on a brisk. It's got to just fall apart. I've never done a pig roast, but I would love to do like a fucking pig roast. You know,
yeah, whole
nothing
pig.
but oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's good. It's a lot of meat though, man. That's a ton of meat. Whole pig.
I
Smoked.
actually seen
Oh, sorry.
just yesterday morning. I'm not sure what type of leaf it was that they used, but they were it was like in an Indian town. They had dug a hole and had their fire going, and then they had some type of leaf. You know what I mean? It was a good sized leaf, and they arranged the leaves in the hole kind of like a flower. You know what I mean? So they kind of staggered them, and it kind of looked like a flower. And then they threw all this meat in the fucking center of that shit and closed up the leaves around it and like smothered the meat in there and kind of buried it in there. And I thought, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure whatever they're doing, it's gonna be fucking delicious. I don't know what that leaf blanket is that they're doing, why they're doing it, but I am fucking sure that is delicious right there. It just, it's one of the things too. You know when you see a good cut of meat, you know what I'm saying? That alone, what they were throwing in the fucking hole was like, oh god, that looked like such a nice little hunk of meat there and shit. But it was like brisk size hunks that they were throwing in the hole, and it was like, oh, it just made me hungry watching it.
Dude, so I said I was doing a route sales position. So the owner of the company actually had like 3 states that he owned, and anyway, so there's a good number of guys that drove and did. So he had this big party for everybody, and we all went down to Indiana to his big mansion, and it was awesome. But he was trying to bury one of those full pigs, so he was going to do it like Hawaiian style, where you do the layer of wood or charcoal or whatever. You get it all hot, and then you lay the pig on it and you bury it. And, I don't know, cooks it. It didn't work so well anyway, so it came out all like half raw and half like burnt to a fucking crisp. It was like basically how it was. And so yeah, we ended up all eating hot dogs that night. They went and fucking cleaned out the grocery store hot dogs. Like, thanks, man.
That's fucking funny. What am I missing? What am I missing, guys? God damn it. I see fucking whose comment is it here?
I think it's because you're saying brisk instead of brisket.
No. Well, I always say brisk. But Day Grower says top chat again, Eagle, LOL. I write that and I look up and it says top chat. And I'm like, motherfucker, what am I missing? Obviously, I'm missing something, and he knows it. He knows I can't read it and shit.
Why is that the default? The fucking live chat should be the default, and you should pick top chat if you want. Like, I don't know. Why is top chat even an option? I could see maybe a real busy one, but I
don't know. Yeah, I've never figured that out myself. That's funny though. I did get it. I smiled as soon as I read that. I was like, how the fuck did they know? How did they know? How do they know I'm on fucking Top Chat?
Dankor might be talking about. He was the one that emailed you that song. That's what he was talking about earlier. That's the
Okay.
yeah. Dankor is the one that emailed it.
That's good to know. That's a good tune. Sorry to give Chris Mertz all that credit yesterday.
Oh, that's funny.
Next time you could, it would maybe help a little bit if you kind of went, hey, Eagle, this is the dang grower. Because even as I look back at it, I was like dumbfounded. I was like, man, it's a fucking great tune, but I don't know who this name match, what screen name matches this name and shit.
I was laughing because you kept saying that Chris sent it to you, Chris Mertz sent it to you, and he's in chat like, I don't know, I don't fucking know, I didn't send him shit.
What in the fuck is fucking Eagle smoking over there and shit? What else am I doing, Eagle? What else am I doing over there?
Oh man,
That's
yeah, it's coming up 420. I got mine ready to go. I'm all pre-ready.
I'm gonna have to like fucking do a dab. I don't have one ready. I'm still trying to look back to see if I can read it.
Does it switch? So if you go from top chat to live chat, you can go back up and see what you missed in top chat?
I don't think so. Because it has that like barrier. And it's
Yeah.
like I think it's like from then on. Yeah, that's funny. You would think that by now, episode 74 and doing a year on fucking MBS there, Michigan Bros Grow Show there, that I'd have all these little quirks figured out and shit. No. No.
Not till you have a deadline.
Man, I can't wait for this fucking me to get off my ass and fucking take care of business on the LED side of shit. Oh my god, that shit's all fucking in veg. That shit looks like the shit behind me over there in the LED tent.
Oh yeah, Boom Farms. What's up, bro?
What up, boom? You know what? I've seen two people fucking bite on Boom shit tonight. Look at them girls behind me. That's even dirty. They're looking pretty good.
Full, dude. Those tents look full as fuck.
I think I just don't see the scrog.
I'm pretty sure
meeting up.
there was a monkey swinging, and I'm pretty sure I saw a parrot flying around in there.
That's average though. That's the way I've ran forever. The scrog's just so unnatural. But even Jordy kind of bit on Boone's thing tonight. I can forget who the other one was. I want to say somebody said it on GML tonight. They came in or exited and went boom upon entering there. And then when Mr. Jodery came back tonight, when he popped back on my screen, that was the first thing he said when he came back. He was like, boom. I was like, does he know?
Oh yeah, he knows.
Does he know?
Hell
Does
yeah.
he know you bite on his shit, man?
Who
I
doesn't?
don't think he's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be happy about you stealing his entrance and exit like that, man. Not cool. That's Boom's thing.
blackest white man. Oh, that's funny.
Saw Waldo in there. That's fucking funny.
It's funny.
That would be funny, though. You know what I mean? What was the one? The one. It wasn't Waldo. It was something the kids had to do, like fucking about 10 years ago. They had it was this like little cutout thing that they had to take around and take pictures with. It was kind of a Where's Waldo type thing, but it was like I forget. I'll have to ask Alexis tomorrow what that thing was.
Sure, it wasn't just an app on their phone that did that. There's that now. You can do that shit just
Maybe,
on your phone.
maybe. Stay Irie. Who's leaving? Who left? Are you leaving Aldridge? Give my little dab a rib.
You can't leave right now. It's 4 minutes too.
4 minutes too. We toughed it out. Flat Stanley. Thank you, Boom. It was fucking Flat Stanley who I was thinking of. God damn. Boom's got kids. Boom knows some kids, or he's played Flat Stanley. Yeah, Flat Stanley, you were supposed to pass him around and get pictures taken with him. It was kind of like a Where's Waldo type thing.
Yep, didn't have that era.
I should hope not. You'd be really young because my kids did it. Probably your kids.
Yeah, 18 and 17.
15,
10 years ago.
It's 317 over here, rookies. That's funny. Well, it's 420 here, so it still counts for us.
Rookies. Prepared is the term, Aldrich.
Look at this. You know I had to buy this torch when I seen it, right?
Oh yeah. That's badass.
It had my name all over it. You would be, for somebody of my age, you would have think I would have given up the skull things like a long time ago and shit. But I swear to God, almost everything I own has like a fucking skull on it. A skull or an eagle on it. One of the two.
Boom said he
doesn't
have kids, so he just knew about that Stanley just because he did it.
Are you just a fan of Flat Stanley?
Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I actually, as far as like the skeleton things goes or a skull, I actually hit a bird one time and it was like 1,000,000 to 1 shot. And in the grill of my truck, his head went right into the grill of my Dodge. Like right, you know how they got the holes in the front?
Yep.
That fucker went right in there. I mean, it got stuck. And I left that motherfucker in there forever. Everybody would try to get me to take that fucker out, and I wouldn't. It actually stayed there so long. It was like a skeleton on the front of the wings and all were like in the grill. And people would go, "Hey, man, you got a bird skeleton in the fucking front of your truck?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I do. Leave it fuck alone. Been there a long time and shit." And it did. That fucking bird skeleton stayed in the fucking front of that Dodge for like a fucking year, easy. When it finally was gone, it was like, "Oh, damn it, where'd he go?"
420. Cheers.
Cheers. I'd actually go like out of my way when I was washing the truck not to wash it off and shit.
It's funny. Yeah, I was just thinking that you couldn't wash it or nothing, but that was your hood ornament.
Well, I did. You would. It was amazing. It was like he was meant to be there because he waited through a winter, fucking rainstorms, fucking that thing was just there for the longest fucking time. It was like it was meant to be there. It didn't want to leave. Didn't want to leave. Ask Lexi about that shit one day, and she'll tell you that's no bullshit. She'll be like, "That thing was in there forever." He wouldn't take it out of there.
I wouldn't either, though. It's kind of funny. It had to stink for a minute, I would imagine, but
Yeah, it did go through its stink phase, but it's quickly diverted when you're going 60 down the road. You know, don't smell that shit.
burning one driving down the road.
Probably. Oh.
It's been a great episode, man. I had a blast. Everybody in chat was a riot, and Kevin was great as always. So enjoyed it. So yeah, guys. Aldrich 25, Chris Mertz, DLP 2372, Smoke a Girl Frazier. I don't know how to pronounce that one, and I'm just gonna leave it. Eagle will have to shout it out.
Which one?
It's SRE Strelhau. I don't know.
Slurhow, I think. Slurhow, that's how I say it.
Stab at it. Giving it the old Eagle crap.
You know what's funny? And I won't say it again. I'm still not going to say it. Although, remember how I was saying last night there was one that had come up recently that I avoided? Remember? Last night, I was like, there's one in there that I see that I duck purposely. And that person probably always wonders why they don't ever get a shout out. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then they came up in chat last night, per happen chance. And it was right when I purposely kicked that shout off to you. I was like, all right, Smiley, you want to do some shout outs? And I was like, let's see how he says it. You stumbled on it too, I noticed. And I was like, oh shit. And then I was going through the shout outs after that, and I came across it again, and I fumbled through it, and I was like, God damn it. I ain't even tried.
Did you read Aldrich? I do feel like a dumbass. Oh, that's funny. I'm bad at reading license plates too, so it's all good. Oh, that's funny. I'm not too good at that board game where you gotta make the words either. I'm not so hot at that one.
Right. I think Dink Grower, you're somehow or another, yeah. I have the only envelope I have. Your gear is out, Dink Grower.
Well,
I promise you.
He said it's.
Oh, he come. Go ahead.
He sent you the email with his address, and he said you didn't recognize the email with the song, so that's the same email for the address. So check your spam.
But see, I didn't take note though. You know what I mean? The first time I'd seen the address or the email, and I just seen this is Dink Grower. You know what I mean? And I took note of that. But the second email, I didn't take note of sender, so that's why I didn't know. But your package is out. The only one that's here is Light It Up Again, Tim. Everybody else shipped out today. So Tim, damn it, I need your address. I know you're in Canada. I'm willing to make the fucking. I just want an address. It will get there. It'll get there.
Sure, El How. That's the way to Eagle.
Sure, El How.
So it was all wrong. We're a bunch of stoners. He's like, it is good.
Just him. He's the only one. It was funny because how much was postage today? How many packages did I send out? You know how much was postage? Fucking mailman was like fucking. It's funny. The big guy was looking at me, just like you could see he wanted to ask because I come in there with a grocery bag full of these envelopes. Fucking just handed him the bag. Fonk. He opened it up and looked at me and was like, "Fucking really?" Because he had to type it up.
You had like around 20 or something, right?
16 went out today. And this was 17. So yeah, you're close, like said, you know. But so he's like looking through them and he's got to type them in one by one. So it took like 20 minutes. People all and they'll only let one person go in there at a time. So there was a line behind me. And fucking you could see he just wanted to ask, like, because they were all over the country. He's like, "There's none in Michigan here." I'm like, "Oh, yeah. There's a couple in Michigan there, for sure. And he just had this look on his face, like, "What are you mailing out to all these people?" Shit. But the last time, it was funny too, because the last time I did it, I fucking smoked around them. Remember your package? I fucking that went in and they were like, "These stink like weed." So this time I opened up the bag and I fucking totally axe sprayed them bitches. Fucking, I'm like, "Yeah, they gonna stink like weed now." And I took them in there, so they
That's probably why he was looking at you weird and asking questions, because they all smelled. He's probably thinking you're sending out porn, sex toys and shit. Perfumed out. Probably looking at you like, "Yeah, these are little dildos. I know you're a weirdo."
What's in here, really?
Give him the wrong impression there. That's funny.
Right? God, I hope not, because that's a big dude right there. He's only about 6'5". I don't want to be sending that cat the wrong message. Either way. That's the only way that could get any worse right there is just to like get a wink from like fucking that big old burly fucking guy right there. I'd be running out of that post office. Fuck this mailbox. I'm going to the next town.
I think it's all in your head. They're probably not even worried about it.
No, because I know, because that's the same guy when I was getting packs from Subcool. I knew it was him because it was always like a big old foam in the corner of the box. It's like he took the package and went, and then would like look in the box and shit. So one day I fucking actually went in there. I'm like, "Come on, man, what the fuck are you guys doing to these fucking packages?" And then that was like the last one that I ever had a hole in. But never know. Especially when I'm taking a couple in there that stink like weed.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Dank Grower, if you had seeds on 420. I had 2 that were given away, and then there were 3 people hit me up, and then 2 people remembered what they won, and the one person didn't. So I'm sorry. That's just kind of how I decided it. I was like, well, I guess my bad. It sucks, man. He's getting misidentified.
Yeah, I'm pretty diligent about writing down who won. See, what I do when I write that shit down is like say I write down the contest, the number I selected, I write down the winner, and then I write down their guess. So if there's ever a conflict or whatever, I could be like, "Okay, what was your number or whatever? You know, what was I got a little bit of something of proof right there to revert back to in case there's somebody trying to do that, like you said. Oh, I won that. It's yet to have happened on my end, but it could.
And there's no way to go back on the 420 episode and find out either.
No, it's gone.
It's like it never happened.
I do have notes though from 420. They're right here. I have notes all that.
Oh yeah, look at you go.
Yeah, I do. That's high as fuck, but I was still taking notes.
I was just thinking,
Yeah, right here.
There's no way you could have been taking notes towards the end. You were so freaking pie-eyed.
You know, as far as that goes, too, is I don't think Sweet Tea got hers, and that's another. Andy didn't either. There's two people on this list that I know didn't. Rooster got his. Sweet Tea, I know. I don't know if I sent hers out. I'd seen her fucking her email today or yesterday, and I was like, man, I can't remember if I sent that or not. But I never got another email. And Andy Burden, who won Java Pie, and they were like in another country, like Ireland or UK or something. And that was the one I said, fuck it, I'll take the chance. And I believe he sent me his fucking address, and somehow or another it got misplaced. And then that was the only time I ever fucking seen him. I've actually told Lexi to keep her eye out for him in chat so I could get that to him. And I've never seen that name come across the screen since 420. Kind of bummed.
Yeah, it sucks.
But hopefully, he'll be back and get him again.
Yeah, reclaim them or whatever. Do it that way.
So you ready to sign off, Smiley?
Yeah, man. That's what I was just a good one.
I gotta get some work done. A little bit of work. All right, with you. That's awesome.
Well, cool, man. I'll catch you guys later. Great job tonight. Lining it up.
Thank you.
Had a blast chat. It's always fun hanging out.
There's gonna be episode of Frugal Force this week. Was there one last?
No, we didn't record one, so I don't know. I think he's playing some old footage or something.
All right. I just thought I'd ask because I didn't want him to miss out. You know how I feel about all that, but I wouldn't want him to miss out on some Smiley time. Wouldn't want to miss out on some Smiley time and shit.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's kind of like one of them things. Summer gets busy, and so shout out to Abolish because I mean he don't make it a big deal that we have to, you know. So it's cool like that too. So fun,
Right on.
you know, laid back.
Right on. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing nothing that I can try to return the favor and plug you once in a while on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always see you when I see you on the other shows and shit, and you know, I'm always proud to see you shout me out. You know, when you're gonna be. Actually, you're not shouting me out. You're shouting out where they can find you, but. It's a connection. I still feeling it. I'm still feeling it. I'm glad to hear it every time.
Yeah.
So,
no. I'm not trying to shout myself out ever. It's like just like I don't know. I like being on Frugal Force. I like the guys there, and I like hanging out with you, and I like seeing this show go good. Oh yeah, it is addicting, dude. It's a habit now. Like I don't know what is it, the 21 days. If you do something 21 days or whatever number of days, it's a habit. So it's a habit.
It's 21. Right on.
Dug in.
Yeah.
But cool. Peace out, man. We'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Have a good night, brother. Mr. Smiley. I always enjoy hanging out with him. But it is that time. It is that time. Chris Mertz, Aldridge 25, Chivo Man, DLP 2372, Mo Grower. Oh, excuse me. Who else we got in chat here still? Of course, Smiley's Farms, Dang Grower, B2 Crazy for you. Appreciate you guys all tuning in tonight. And I had it was I can't wait to go back and look at the analytics from tonight, man. You guys came out in droves for this episode. So I know there's no way I'm going to be able to thank all 88, 90 people that showed up at one point tonight. But y'all count, that's for sure. Mystic Marks, hope you had a good, nice, well. Hans Warrior. Who else we got? Boom's Farm. Boom, I can't wait for you to fucking check back in, my Canadian brother, man. I dig hanging out with you as well. Hopefully you got some time coming up soon. You can check in. Sir How, thank you for checking in. I probably fucked that up, but I do appreciate you hanging in as well. Smoke and Grow Fraser, if I have not said that as well. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? You guys been holding down chat, and I've had to refresh this window so many times. I'm gonna miss a lot of people. I know the Major General 420 was in chat tonight. I believe I've seen Red Setter Farms at some point. I know I seen so many great people. Memory sucks as I smoke a lot of weed. But if I forgot you or I missed you and you were in chat or you tuned in tonight, I am so sorry. But you guys know, I hope you guys know that I appreciate everybody. Even if I missed your name, you know I'm thanking you in my heart for sure. We'll be back tomorrow. Purple Thumb OG, I don't know if you're in chat, but he will be here tomorrow night supporting. Hopefully you guys will tune in and support him on his episode. Looking forward to that. Quick little reminder here. Yep, Purple Thumb OG, Rokashi Sunday, Breeder Steve Monday, Low Key Tuesday. In fact, the whole next few weeks are packed tight with great guests for you guys. Looking forward to hanging out with you. And I promise you guys, this for you guys that are kind of have made this a habit, know this. I have made this a habit too, and I don't plan on hanging this fun thing up anytime soon. If anything, I dig deeper in day by day by day because I enjoy hanging out with you probably more than you do me. You guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to try to do something nice for somebody. Moist Flops, how you doing? That's a pretty cool name. I'm yet to read that one aloud. I hope you're having a great night or early morning. Have a great night. Get some rest. I will see you tomorrow night at 11:30. You know, as always, random acts of kindness do save lives. Usually, it works on both sides. So at least try to do something nice, random. You know, it doesn't have to be a huge act. Anything counts. And I don't know. You guys have a great day, great night. Stay Irie, as Aldridge 25 says. And good night. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.